Live from St. James High School in Vacherie, Louisiana, Crescent City Sports is proud to bring you Louisiana high school football. Tonight we have a dandy on tap. It is a Division III non-select semifinal matchup as the Union Parish Farmers take on the St. James Wildcats. Hi again, everybody. Lenny Van Gilder along with Wade Kaiser, Chip and Matt Merritt helping bring us all of the imagery this evening on what should be an outstanding night for football. And as I said on the countdown to the original a few minutes ago, Wade, if we've got a game that is 1/10 as good as what we saw when these teams met in the Dome about a year ago, almost to the day, we are in for a good one this evening.
No doubt about it. I mean, some of the same guys are still playing. I mean, St. James was rather young and at the time, and Union Parish has a ton of the same guys back, both offensively and defensively. So it's going to be interesting here tonight here in the River Parishes.
Yeah, let's go back to last year. We mentioned that these two teams met for the title in Division in the Dome, and the 4-seed Union Parish, the 3-seed St. James. It was fast and furious in the first quarter. Braden Williams passing the flat to Kobe Brown, turns it to a 73-yard touchdown. They scored 3 touchdowns in less than a minute. St. James led at 14-12 after one. This time Williams uses his legs, a 30-yard touchdown run, extending the St. James lead to 20-12.
Well, look, the speed that night on the field, Lenny, was just magnificent for both teams, right? As you said, they scored fast and furious.
Union quarterback Jordan Hill around the left side on a 6-yard keeper. The Farmers take a 28-20 lead into the fourth quarter. But here comes St. James early in the fourth. Williams connects with Trenton Esther for a 35-yard touchdown. They add the 2-point conversion. They tie the game. They go ahead 35-28. It's late. Union Parish near the goal line over Jamarian Island for a 4-yard score with 11 seconds left. Joe Spatafora says we're going for 2 and the win. Island off the right side. He's in for the 2, and Union leads at 36-35. One last chance for St. James. Williams will let fly with a Hail Mary, but it's going to be intercepted by Tamario Bilberry, and Union Parish comes away with the state championship.
Yeah, the decision going for 2, Joe Spatafora basically knew he had the momentum, right? So while everything was going his way, he had the momentum. St. James was a little bit reeling on defense. He lines up, goes for 2, and he sticks it in, and that was the ball game.
Here tonight in Vacherie, as it is across much of the state, a little chilly. It's 45 degrees. We'll get down probably into the low 40s as we go this evening. You hear that train horn, you'll hear it all night here in Vacherie, okay? That is a tribute to the old stadium right here at St. James, where they were right alongside the railroad tracks. And you'd hear those horns quite a bit.
Well, the train would show up at a particular time every Friday evening for a home game, and that horn would let loose. And the legend goes that if St. James was down, all of a sudden they would mount a comeback. If St. James was up, they would continue piling on the points. So the horn from the train is legendary for St. James football.
Both of these teams have made dominant runs through the playoffs thus far. Union Parish, they were the 5 seed, so they had to play in the first round. They defeated Oakdale 42-6, then defeated Red River 42-8, and then last week defeated Kinder 44-14. So that's 40-plus in all 3 games while allowing just a total of 28 points. St. James had a first-round bye. In the second round, they faced a district rival in Donaldsonville, won that one easily 48-6. A little bit closer last week against a pretty good Pine team, 26-7. But one thing you notice, you were here for the game week 6 against Shaw. Right. Since that game, St. James has not only gone on a 6-game winning streak to clinch the number 1 seed, but look at the points they've allowed. 9, 6, 0, 7, 6, 7. This is a stout defense that has allowed 10.7 points per game this year, but just 5.8 points per game during the course of this winning streak.
Yes, it's almost like after week 6 when Shaw put 35 on them, they went back to work and made some changes, right? From that point on, they were in single digits, giving up points, right? So, yeah, and look, you know, Union Parish's defense is pretty stout too. So
they are.
You know, we've seen both teams put some points up this year. We're going to also see 2 teams that do a great job on the defensive side of the football.
The fireworks going off in Vacherie as the Wildcats take the field for what should be a great night of football here. It is Union Parish and St. James coming up in just a moment on Crescent City Sports. We welcome you back to Vacherie. And Wade, you mentioned a lot of the guys are the same. A lot of the guys are different. We've got two different quarterbacks on the field, two young guys that are going to be engineering these two offenses this evening. Braxton Patterson, the sophomore for Union Parish. Jawan Jackson, just a freshman for St. James. So you got teams that have been here. Obviously, St. James and Union Parish both getting to the Dome last year. Union Parish, with a win tonight, would be the only team in Louisiana that has played for a state championship every year this decade. Lafayette Christian had a chance to do that as well. They got beat last week in the quarterfinals. So a little bit of what's at stake. St. James has not been to back-to-back championship games since they won back-to-back titles all the way back in 1959 and 60. So you're talking about going into the Wayback Machine right there for that. But you know in the River Parishes how much they know about winning, and all of these guys, all of these teams down here can be threats every year to get to the Superdome. But with a young quarterback, and you've had experienced quarterbacks, you've had young quarterbacks during your coaching career. When you get to this point of the season, obviously they're not young anymore because they've played an entire year, but still, this game, you're one game away from getting to the Dome. What are you trying to tell those guys right now to keep them calm in this kind of situation?
Well, I think it all starts the week of, right? I mean, if you put them in the positions during practice that they need to be in and that they're going to see on Friday night in a semifinal game, then they should, with the 9 games behind them already, they should have the initial butterflies. But then again, hey, they've seen it all already. Put them through what they need to work on all week. Apply the pressure to them then. The pressure part will be gone by the time the ball is snapped on Friday night for a semifinal game.
And one thing that both of these teams have done is, and both of these coaches, Joe Spatafora at Union Parish, who's a veteran coach who's won 2 state championships. Levanta Davis at St. James has done an outstanding job here in his 3rd year. They tested themselves early.
Right.
Union Parish started 0-3. They lost to North DeSoto, lost to Alexandria Senior High, who's playing tonight, lost to Airline, who was playing last week. And then in the course of district play, they also had to deal with Calvary Baptist, who is obviously still alive as well. St. James. You got plenty of challenges just here in the River Parishes. They opened with East St. John. They went down to the Bayou and took on Terrebonne. They went to Ponchatoula. They played St. Charles Catholic. We mentioned Shaw, McDonough 35. So they definitely both of these teams tested themselves at every opportunity. Look, you can see St. James had 2 losses and they were the number 1 seed in this division. That shows you how well they tested themselves with their strength of schedule.
Right, and that those tests that they had early is what applied the pressure to those young quarterbacks early in the season to get the butterflies out for situations like tonight.
Yeah.
By week 9 in the semifinals, there isn't much they have not seen. They haven't been taught. So, as I said, the week of is what's most important in keeping them calm and ready to play well in the semifinals.
Yeah, it was interesting having a conversation pregame, you and I, with Joe Spatafora, the Union Parish coach, and
it's routine.
He said, facing the teams that we faced, we knew that doing that, when we got to this point of the season, no one was going to be better than what we had already seen.
Correct.
And I think the numbers certainly back that up.
That and traveling, you got to remember where Farmerville is, right?
Yeah, it's a 5-hour trip.
Right, and I apologize if I call them Farmerville, and I did this before because they're formerly known as Farmerville High School, right? A very rich football tradition up there. It's an inch from Arkansas,
right?
So these guys know how to travel to the southern part of the state.
No doubt about it. Well, before we kick off here, as Union Parish is going to get the football, let's take a look at the bracket in Division III non-select to tell you just how we got here. You see St. James the winner over Pine last week, Union Parish the winner over Kinder. The other side of the bracket, the other semifinal going on at the same time tonight. There are 16 semifinal games across the state. This is a great night for football in Louisiana. All of these teams are one game away from the Dome. All 32 that are in action. You see the other one. It's Sterlington against Gina playing for the other spot in the Dome. We are going to pause for an invocation, followed by our national anthem here in Vacherie.
For minds honed by practice to peaks of excellence. Our Father, we thank you. Grant that we may not take these days like this for granted. Give now each team the grace to play their best and to be a good sport and to realize that win, lose, or tie, we all may come away winners in creation. These things we ask in the name of Jesus the Christ. Amen. Would you please remain standing as the St. James Wildcat Bands play our national anthem.
Our national anthem from Vacherie, where we are just about set for kickoff on this semifinal Friday in Louisiana. Union Parish and St. James. The winner heads to the Dome next Thursday night. By the way, if you're watching, 7 p.m. Thursday is the Division III non-select title game. 8 games across 3 days. That is as good a 3 days as there is in not just high school sports in Louisiana, but sports in Louisiana. I know you've had a chance to be a part of that for a long time, and now getting a chance to be a part of the broadcast. It's it's a great time to see the best in Louisiana high school football all come together under the roof of the Dome.
Right, it's all right there for the great football lover, and it's in the best venue, I think, in the country, right? So, if not in the world. And it's in the perfect conditions. It gives every team the perfect opportunity not to worry about rain or any other type of wind issues, those sort of things. It's just great 3 days of high school football.
All right, as we get set to go, we remind you tonight's coverage on Crescent City Sports brought to you by the Lamarck Automotive Complex in Kenner. Lamarck Pre-Owned has a huge selection of pre-owned vehicles, all makes and models. We have great deals. Must be a reason. Van Gilder family is an owner of a Lamarck Pre-Owned.
There you go.
2 guys we're going to see. We're going to call names a lot tonight. Connie King Young is handling the kicking duties for St. James. He's done that for a couple of years now. And then one of the deep men for Union Parish is Tyquarius Wilson. We will call his name on special teams, on offense, on defense. I'm not sure he's going to leave the field this evening. Off we go from Vacherie. The kickoff will take a hop, a second hop, and will roll out of bounds. That was in the direction of Chase Meeking, who is nearest the top of your screen. And the kick out of bounds likely means that Union Parish will take the football at the 35-yard line.
That was specifically done. They did not want the ball in Tyquarius Wilson's hands. right? So they told him to kick it away from him or out of bounds. I don't blame it one bit.
All right, so Braxton Patterson and this Union Parish offense, which is going to really look to ground and pound. That's as simple as we can put it, Wade. They are old school when it comes to how they operate their offense. A pass is a rare thing in this offense, although Patterson has thrown for 1,184 yards and 12 touchdowns this year. Their bread and butter is the running game, and you see what they do in the I formation, all in tight. Give it away on first down, and a big hit right at the line of scrimmage. Nothing doing on that first carry as Wilson goes nowhere.
Well, we're also going to call a guy's name tonight for St. James a lot named Chaden Parker. All right, and we're also going to call Jarrell Williams' name tonight. These guys do a great job getting from their safety positions down into the box to add that extra defender. And that's exactly what happened on that play.
2nd and 10, the quarterback's going to keep it this time. And Patterson will get 8, and that's going to make it 3rd and manageable.
See, Patterson is kind of dangerous, right? He's going to run the midline option, those sort of things, and he's going to keep the ball. You've got to account for him. He applies a lot of pressure to your defense if you do not have the third guy in the backfield accounted for, which is going to be Braxton Patterson.
You see, fakes the dive, and then basically it's almost a follow, right?
Well, it's midline. It's midline. You can option off of it. He has the option to give it or to pull it. He reads the first man past the ball.
3rd and 2. This time to the fullback, who will get right to the sticks. That is Derek Dew. The senior rushed for 759 yards this year. So everybody's touched it here on this first set of downs. The quarterback, the tailback, the fullback.
Yeah, Derek Dew has had a great year, right? He's had 759 yards rushing. He primarily makes his yards running the inside traps, the inside hard dives, or the midline give off of the option.
So 1st and 10 for Union Parish at the 45. This is ideally what Joe Spatafore's team wants to be able to do. Now they'll switch the formation, overload it to the left side. And on first down, the carry will get about 4 yards. And that was Wilson on the carry that time.
The other thing you're going to see out of this Union Parish offense is you're going to see them go what we call heavy or tackle over, where it's an unbalanced line, and you can almost call that unbalanced right there, even though he was off the line of scrimmage. We're talking about Ari Slocum, the big tight end number 10, which you can't miss there in your picture at the end of the line of scrimmage, right? So look for them to go unbalanced and to see if St. James will make the adjustment to it.
That was actually due on the carry, not Wilson. This time it will be Wilson on the pitch. Got the edge. 40, 35, 30. Stiff-arming a tackler inside the 20 and down to the 15-yard line. And just like that, Union Parish is in the red zone. Gain of 36.
Look at the blocks on the flank. They run the option. They pull it. They pitch it out on the edge. Let's see if we can take a look at it. Well, look at the top of your film. Look at the blocking by the 2 wide receivers out there. The halfback right there doing a great job getting the kick-out block on the force player, and that was Derek Dew, the fullback, making that block. That is what sprang Wilson down the boundary off of the pitch. If you're going to run option, you've got to be able to block on the boundary if you're going to use the third option of the triple option, the pitch, to be able to, obviously advance the ball outside on the flank.
St. James using a timeout here early on, and I'm sure if you're Levanta Davis, you just got to calm down the troops a little bit after a big play. You don't see that a lot of times in football like you see in basketball. Something good happens, and you want to kind of slow things down and talk to your guys a little bit.
Well, I think he's going over option responsibilities right there because they were a little confused on what and how to defend the option, the triple option on that last play. Sometimes it just takes a little bit of a reminder.
All right, so 2 receivers to the bottom of your screen. We'll give it away this time to Wilson, who will get a couple.
Union Parish running, and they've seen this all year, 9-man boxes, 8-man boxes, and that's what they're getting from St. James. There are 9 men. If you take the safety and walk them within the 10 yards from the line of scrimmage, you can count him in the box. They're playing the other 2 wide receivers in man coverage, so they're having to run the ball against 9 men. Union Parish doesn't care. They want to get 3 first down.
You see basically a 5-man front here, and you're right, they're really bringing guys down. First pass of the night into the end zone. It is caught for the touchdown. And that is Chase Meeking, who has his 10th receiving touchdown of the year. He's caught about 2/3 of the passes that Patterson has completed this year. And again, he's the target right there for a 13-yard score, and Union Parish breaks on top.
Yeah, he's working against man coverage, and he's going to beat it, right? He's going to give a little nod to the inside on the post and break it back out to the corner, and Patterson puts it right out there where he can run to it. Great hands, great catch. It puts Union Parish on the board first.
7 plays, 65 yards. 3 minutes, 28 seconds off the clock. The kick is good, and Union Parish with a 7-0 lead after the first possession. Anything surprise you there?
No. I mean, that's what they've done all year. I mean, we were talking to the head coach of the Union Parish Farmers, Joe Spatafora, before the game, and he told us, hey, 3.5. We'll throw it every now and then. We'll throw it every now and then. We're going to pound it, and we're going to spread the ball around. We're going to run some option, and that's exactly what they did. They're not changing. They've been that way for years, right? It's been one of the stronger AA programs for decades up in North Louisiana. Remember, I said it used to be known as Farmerville, and they changed it to Union Parish, I'm sure, when some schools consolidated together up there. And as Farmerville High, they were always a force to be reckoned with deep in the playoffs every year in AA. And they do the same thing. They run out of the eye. They're going to pound it. They're going to run hard option. And every now and then they might throw the ball.
Kick is away. Taken at about the 5-yard line by Kendrick Joseph, who has room up the middle. 30, 35, 40, 45 midfield into Union territory before he's brought down at the 40-yard line. That's better than 50 yards on the return, and that is a way to change momentum in a hurry.
Well, that's an answer, right? I mean, kick the ball off, block it perfectly, and have a great return. Special teams are the great equalizer. Nice blocking right at the point of attack. Great hole right there. You and I could have even ran through that. And look at that. Nice job by Kendrick Joseph. Now St. James is in business.
Nothing like starting a drive from the plus side of the 50. So we get our first look now at the St. James offense with Jawan Jackson, the 6'1", 210-pound freshman, operating from the gun. He's got Connie King-Young alongside of him. Or check that. That is 9, I believe. Or maybe that is 5. Let's see. Hard to read that number. Yeah, it's 5. It's Young, who's rushed for 918 yards on the year, and he picks up a big chunk right there on first down. Give him 18, make it 17, and it's another Wildcat first down.
Yeah, they blocked the edge nicely. They run it to the short side of the field where they had a nice advantage in numbers by formation.
They'll go quickly, go right back to King-Young, and he didn't get much of anything right there.
Yeah, Robert Hambrick, sophomore defensive lineman, made that play.
Hambrick, 48 tackles, 15 for loss this year, so he's a disruptor back there. You know, we're telling you about Wilson. You'll see him on defense. He's right about the numbers right now at the top, towards the top of your screen, where he plays linebacker. Had led this team with 142 tackles this year. That's an average of about 11 per game. On 2nd and 10, this is Joseph on the carry this time. He'll get a couple.
Yeah, St. James is going to use a few running backs back there. We're going to see Young. We're going to see Chaden Frazier. We're going to see Joseph. You'll see Xavier Johnson, who is a freshman who has had a bunch of reps this year. They will rotate 3-4 guys to keep their legs fresh. But it doesn't matter. When you're in the semifinals, it doesn't matter whether your legs are fresh or tired. You're going to get used.
It's semifinal Friday. So 4 wide receivers here on 3rd down and 8. Everybody looks to the sideline. And Jackson will call out the signals to the offensive line. Play clock at 3. A little quick pass out to King Young. They've got this well blocked. 15, 10, 5 to the corner. Touchdown, St. James. Well-designed play. 21 yards on a little quick pass from Jackson to Young, and St. James has an answer.
This looks like a replay again from the Superdome Classic last year, right? One team scores, the next team scores.
And it's a lot like if you saw the highlights of that first touchdown pass that they drew to Kobe Young, it looked a lot like that, just that little quick pass, and they blocked it on the perimeter. They had the numbers out there, and they got the blocks.
Well, it's about getting the ball into your playmakers' hands. You got to think players, not plays, right? Just get him the ball out there and let him do his thing, and he did his thing, and he got into the end zone for the Wildcats.
Point after is good, and with 6:37 to play, here in the first quarter, we are tied at 7. That drive goes 4 plays, 40 yards, takes a minute 55 after the 54-yard return by Joseph put the Wildcats in business.
Well, special teams, again, great equalizer, right? Sets them up for a quick drive and a short drive. When you're playing good special teams deep into the playoffs, that could be the trick that could get you into that final game.
Said there's 16 games going on in Louisiana. There's actually 17 games going on involving Louisiana schools. We'll keep you posted on what's going on with the American Athletic Conference Championship game tonight. Tulane is in West Point to take on Army.
Yeah, I think they're going to run the football in that game, right?
You think? We'll see a lot of what we're seeing
right
there.
Right here.
Here.
Yep.
I don't know if you'll see as many points in West Point as you see in Vacherie tonight. We'll find out how that plays out. Already 2 touchdowns on the board, 5.5 minutes into this one. This one to about the 15-yard line, and this is Meeking, and he will run out of bounds at about the 35. So that's about the same result as kicking it out of bounds, I guess, same play.
Yeah, the thing is, though, it is not in number 1's hands. Where Wilson?
So Union Parish taking over at its 35-yard line. Both teams scoring touchdowns on the opening possession. And much like what Tulane's got to do against Army, if you're Levanta Davis's defense, you've got to win first and second down. You've got to get Union Parish off schedule to make them have to do things that they don't necessarily want to do. They'll give it away on first down. Nice hard run right between the tackles that time is, that's something Wilson can do. He gained 1,089 yards this year, averaged 9 yards a carry, but he's got the ability to do that, go right between the tackles and get 5.
Yeah, he's scored 13 TDs for a reason, right? And one of the reasons are running in between the tackles right there, especially off the power look when he's got great blocking up front by that nice size offensive line in white jerseys, as you can see on the screen there.
2nd and 5. Now the pitch. This was just slow and developing, and St. James is waiting for it. A loss on the play.
Well, it was defense perfectly. Yeah, blocks were defeated at the point of attack out on the flank. Watch the blocks get defeated out here.
Right there. They forced the pitch.
Correct. And that was a great job by Jai Blaine defeating the block of Derek Dew, whose responsibility was to get the kick out right there, and that forced and set the edge real quick, and it allowed the rest of the St. James Wildcats to hurry up and get there and make a nice play.
Blaine is just a sophomore, 6 foot, 175, saw a lot of action a year ago in the state championship game as a freshman. This in the flat, got a man, first down and a little bit more here, as that was Derek Dew, the fullback, leaking out that time. They don't throw the ball to Wilson, which is interesting to me in this scheme. Wilson has no receptions all year, but the fullback Dew had a couple of catches, and they went play action there, and then the fullback is wide open in the flat for the first down.
Well, when you play man coverage, it's just like in basketball, right? You got him, you got him, you got him. Nobody had the fullback that time leaking out on the boot, right? That should have been the linebacker, the outside linebacker's responsibility. He got tied up with the fake in the backfield. His eyes, he did not trust.
So across the 50 to the 48, and a nice run, but there's a fumble and a scoop. And St. James has the football. That is 0. Jarrell Williams, who came up with the ball from his free safety position.
Well, Wilson looked like he was off to the races. We'll see it on the replay here. He hits the hole nicely downhill. Here comes the blockers right into your living room. Bang, one kick out, one seal. He just got the ball kind of stripped out of his hands by... Can't get a number. It looked like number 9, Nolan Zenon, did the stripping. Ball gets stripped out of his hands. It takes one bounce off the carpet right into Jarrell Williams' hands, and St. James has great field position again.
And that was actually Brazel on the carry that time, getting his first carry. The backup running back, Devontae Brazel, the juniors, rushed for 418 yards. And so St. James takes over at the 42-yard line, with 5 minutes remaining here in what has been an entertaining first quarter thus far. 3 possessions, we've seen 2 touchdowns and a turnover. King Young on the edge, down the sideline, shoved out of bounds, but not before he is into Union Parish territory at the 34-yard line, a gain of 24.
If Union Parish is going to stay in a too-high safety look like they're in, they better get those safeties downhill quicker on the run. You saw the missed tackle right there by the safety on that side of the field. Too slow getting to where he needed to be in the alley, and he misses the tackle.
And timeout Union Parish. We get another one of those timeouts. Hey, I got to make some adjustments here. And
well, look for Union Parish to get out of that too high look and get maybe to a one high look and bring another safety down into the alley.
Yeah, Joe Spatafor and his defensive coordinator, Dimitri Farr, going to chat with the defense right here. And it's, you'll see some guys play both ways here for the Farmers.
As it should be at that level, right?
Yeah, you've got
exactly.
Wilson and Meeking. You're going to see a lot of on both sides of the ball, along with, we mentioned Ari Slocum earlier, the big tight end. He will also play some defensive end, and actually that's where he's getting some looks in college.
Yeah, I mean,
he's just a junior.
Right, that's what it's all about at these smaller schools, right? And the kids go out and play football, and they learn to play both sides of the ball, and you're going to get your best athletes on the field on both sides of the ball, and you got to have them on the field in special teams.
All right, so St. James comes out in 4 wide. They've got trips to the short side of the field and a single wide receiver up to the top who's got one-on-one coverage out there, and that's Jakias Villanueva, a guy you were talking about earlier. He is a special guy with 69 catches on the season, 12 for touchdowns. They'll run it with King Young between the tackles right here, and off the left side, he picks up about 6, maybe 7.
Yeah, good strong run. There's already been in the adjustment. That's what was made during the timeout break. As I said, Union Parish has gone to a one-high look, and they brought the other safety down in the box. They're playing man across the front, one safety deep, but that gives them another guy down there in order to play defense and try to stop this strong St. James run.
2nd and 4 at the 28. King Young with 47 yards already on the ground. Was a flag down as King Young is brought down for not much of anything. Let's see what the flag is about. It was Robert Hambrick on the tackle. Our crew tonight from the Alexandria Association is a dead ball false start, so nothing happened there. We'll move it back, so 2nd and 4 will turn into 2nd and 9.
Penalties obviously a vital part of every football game, and these are the 2nd and 9s that neither team want to be in because that takes them off their schedule.
So far, St. James has done a good job of staying on schedule. The touchdown drive, they actually got the 3rd and 8 and then completed that pass for the touchdown. That is blown up in the back. Wow, somehow King Young stayed on his feet. I don't know how, and now he's off to the races and into the end zone for a touchdown. How did he stay on his feet? It looked like he was going to be brought down for a loss.
Oh, my.
Now they're going to talk about this. I see the
We're
going to take another look at it from our perspective here. And Chip Merritt, our producer, could slow it down. Did he go to the ground? No.
He didn't go to the ground.
He did not. 2 guys hit him, dragged him back, but he kept his balance. He put a hand down, and that was it. If they bring this back, they've blown this call, Wade, and I think they're going to bring it back.
Oh, my goodness. It looked
we've got a penalty. I never saw the flag, but there was somehow an illegal block in the back somewhere. I never saw it. I never saw the flag.
I was too amazed at what King Young did to get out of that little snare in the backfield.
That makes more sense that why they would do it. And they'll mark it from the 33. They put the ball at the 30 because they'll put the ball at the 40.
He broke 2 tackles in the backfield. Broke a 3rd one still in the backfield before he took off on his jaunt to the end zone. I was more amazed at his balance. He looked like something out of the USA Gymnastics program.
Which is coming to New Orleans next summer.
Oh.
Shameless plug for our friends at the Greater New Orleans Sports Foundation, who, by the way, announced their R&L Carriers New Orleans Bowl matchup today. It'll be Georgia Southern and Sam Houston, December 19th in the Dome. The week after one of these 2 teams will play in the Dome. That was Kendrick Joseph on the carry off the left side. Got about 1.5 yards, and it's going to be 3rd and long.
Tyrion Traylor did a great job running from his linebacker position all the way across the field to pull him down for the loss. I'm just amazed at the amount of speed both teams have on both sides of the field. I mean, these cats can run.
The quarterback will keep down the left side and get knocked out of bounds at the 29-yard line. Jackson had 4 wide receivers out in the route, couldn't find anybody open. His protection was breaking down, so he took off.
Union Parish goes back to their 2-high look at the perfect time in order to cover those 4 vertical routes that you saw out of St. James. Everything's covered up with the white jerseys. That forced Juwan Jackson just, to make the smart move, right? Get out of there.
A gain of 10, and now it is 4th and 5 at the 29, and it looks like Lavanta Davis is going to go for it here. He's got 5 wide receivers here. It's one of these things you try and draw them, because if you do, it's a first down. 3 on the play clock. 2. Snaps it. Quarterback will keep it, but hang on. It's blown dead. Timeout, St. James. So just 1 timeout remaining now for the Wildcats.
St. James goes empty to try to spread out the front of Union Parish. Union Parish counters with 1 high man across the front to be able to keep their box intact against the run, and that's exactly what happened. And I don't think Coach Lavanta Davis liked the look that he saw, so now he saw the adjustment that Union Parish makes against empty formations, so now he's going to counter with something either out of an empty formation, and he will have a better he'll know which play to call next time he goes to an empty formation. It's a great chess game. That's why you play with 11.
The winner of this game plays either Sterlington or Gina in the Dome next Thursday night. Early on, we might have an answer. First quarter, Sterlington 21, Gina nothing. And that is a 6 against a 7, so that's not some kind of, imbalanced seating of any kind out there.
Okay, here's your empty formation again. Now watch. Union Parish counters with 2 high. And a zone look.
Quick pass. Knocked down. Terrific defense. That was Caden Johnson, the junior. 37 tackles and an interception on the season, and a big pass breakup right there on 4th down.
Exactly. You can see the zone look out of Union Parish, right? They were not in man, and Caden Johnson does a great job driving the ball, getting his hand into play to knock the ball down, and for Union Parish to take the ball over on downs.
Big stop for the Farmers after that turnover in their last possession put St. James in business on the sudden change, and one play later they had the ball in Union Parish territory, but they got the stop. First down and more of Mr. Wilson off the right side. That will get 8 on first down.
They love this particular scheme. It's a power scheme where they're going to wrap the backside guard around into the offside A-gap and lead up in with the fullback. So the guard is responsible for picking up one of the linebackers. The fullback is responsible for picking up the other, and they're using one-on-one blocks right up front against the down defensive linemen of St. James, and they're having some great success with it.
On 2nd and 2. Nice tackle to stand up Wilson short of the first down. That was Nolan Zenon, the junior linebacker, who just basically, that looked like something out of a wrestling move right there, the way he just held his ground and pulled him back before he get the first down. Look at this.
Yeah. Yeah, you should see that on the mat, right? I mean, Nolan Zenon just wraps him up, 6 foot, 195, picks him up and slams him backwards.
3rd and 1. First down and more. Wilson's got room to run. Will they get him? 20, 15, 10, 5, touchdown. 62 yards for Tyquarius Wilson. And Union Parish takes the lead again.
I just talked about the play and the scheme, right? It's power ISO, I guess is what you want to call it. They're going to isolate the two linebackers. Here comes the lead block. Here comes the wrap block. Oh, look at the block by the guard right there. Oh, my goodness. He put him on his back. That is one of the best high school blocks I've seen in a while. And then did you say, could they catch him? Absolutely not. This guy's got jets, man. He ran away from everything in a black jersey.
Point after try. Hits the upright. And is no good. That was a big-time doink right there. So
wow, take a look.
Foul that away. Yeah, right off the upright. You see it right there.
Right. I would like to say that it's like my golf ball hitting the pin, but I'm nowhere near the pin, right?
Right. Can we get, Chip, I don't know if we can get one more look at the touchdown right there. If not, if we're not, yeah.
Because I want everybody at home to take a look at this block. Yeah, the block by the backside guard. Oh, my goodness. It was magnificent. Stuff like that gets me so excited.
See if we can bring that back for you here before we kick off. One more look at that.
Watch this. That was number, it looked like 54.
That's Antonio Traylor. Wow, the senior offensive lineman.
Go to and eat, big fella. I tell you what, he pulls, he gets up into the A-gap, and he meets a linebacker right there and just demolishes him.
So it's 13-7 Union Parish after the touchdown and the missed extra point. Remember, last year this was a one-point game in the state championship. So that's why all of those point afters matter. Short kick this time, on a bounce, taken at about the 20-yard line to the 30, out to about the 35, and wrestled down out of bounds. I believe that was Joseph once again. And so with 120, or inside of 120, now 117 remaining in the quarter, St. James takes over at the 36-yard line. We can update you on the American Conference Championship game. Army has scored first. 7-0 Army late in the first quarter in West Point. And we'll keep you up on what's going on, obviously, and all the other 15 games going on around Louisiana. Winners all headed to the Dome this evening. Division I non-select, the two semifinals there. Central and Neville, 7-7 in the second quarter. Meanwhile, in Ruston leads the other River Parish team still alive. Destrehan, 14-0 second quarter.
Boy, what a story for Destrehan this year, right? I mean, they had so many injuries early in the season. They were struggling, had some tough losses early. All of a sudden, they get some of their guys back, and then they rebound. Look at the play right here. We've talked about Tyquarius Wilson running the football. Look at that forward tackle right there by him as an outside linebacker.
He's already got 114 yards on the ground on 7 carries. Ooh, RPO action right there and a first down. That was on the reception, Jaquias Villanueva, the 5'8", 160-pound junior, his 70th catch of the year.
Yeah, he's a force to be reckoned with. He's a guy that you've got to take away somehow. When you blitz a linebacker, as they did just then, they blitz the outside linebacker, Tyquarius Wilson, and that leaves open the throwing alley for the slant, and that allowed Villanueva to get in right behind there, and the ball was right on the money.
So we've seen a lot of this tonight, teams crossing the 50-yard line. I think it's happened in every possession thus far as we are just about to the end of the quarter. As you hear the horn, not the one off to our right that's a little loud. And this play's still going and still going and still going. And down inside the 20-yard line, that is Connie King-Young on the reception and run. It's a gain of 30 on the final play of the first quarter. And wow, what an entertaining first quarter this has been. 13-7, Union Parish leading St. James in a back-and-forth game, much like we saw a year ago in the Dome. We saw 4 touchdowns in the first quarter. Then we see 3 touchdowns in the first quarter tonight. So 12 minutes in the books. It is 13-7 Union Parish. You are watching high school football from Crescent City Sports. Now this medical minute from Oxnard.
Andrews Sports Medicine Institute. We know that sports injuries can be unpredictable, but one situation you can protect yourself from is muscle cramping. One of the first things you can do to aid in recovery and to avoid muscle cramping is to stretch prior to and after your activity. Now be mindful, not drinking enough fluids can also lead to muscle cramping as well, so be sure to stay hydrated. To learn more about sports injury prevention and treatment, visit oshner.org/sportsmed.
So we get set to begin quarter number 2 here from Wildcat Stadium in Vacherie, Louisiana. Lenny Van Gilder, Wade Kaiser, Chip Merritt, our producer, Matt Merritt bringing you all of the pictures on this semifinal Friday night. The winner to the Dome next Thursday for the Division III non-select state championship game. Just joining us, this was the state championship game a year ago, won by Union Parish 36-35. They scored 4 touchdowns in the first quarter of that game last year, 3 touchdowns this year, and you got St. James knocking on the door right now to start the second inside the 20-yard line of Union Parish. Jawan Jackson will work. Well, it was a pistol formation. Now he's shifted King-Young to his left. Play action. Pass is caught and into the end zone. Touchdown. That is Rocky Lee. Or check that. Is that 83? It might be 83. Come on, Mitchell. It is Mitchell. 83, yes. Not 82. Mitchell on the score, and this game is tied. The freshman with the 19-yard touchdown reception.
Well, it's nicely done off the play action. He beats the defender to the inside on the slant route, and Mitchell gave him a big body to throw to, and he had the ball right out in front of him where he could catch it with his hands, breaks a couple of tackles, and he walks into the end zone.
4 plays, 64 yards, took 1 minute and 23 seconds, and now King-Young on to kick the extra point that would give the Wildcats the lead. you got to. So one thing about King Young being your kicker, that's also a running back.
Yeah.
You could do any number of things. You ran him up under center. You got to respect it. Kick on the way, and it is good. And for the first time tonight, St. James has the lead at 14-13.
Wow, the way this thing is going, there's going to be some points scored before the end of tonight, right?
And look, these defenses have been good all year, but these offenses are that good as well.
Exactly.
Tonight's coverage on Crescent City Sports is brought to you by Oxner Andrews Sports Medicine Institute. Don't let a sports injury keep you sidelined. Our team offers health care for athletes with same-day appointments available near you. Visit oxner.org/sportsmed to learn more.
Well, the deciding factor could, as we saw, one of the great special team plays so far in this game could end up being the special teams. So, we got to keep an eye on that all night tonight. How good is your kick coverage team? Are they doing what they're supposed to do? Are you blocking at the point of attack in your returns? Hey, are you fielding punts properly? Correct? We've already seen one kick get doinked off of an upright. You never know if that one point will come back to haunt you.
By the way, in the other semifinal game in this bracket, Sterlington now up 27-0 on Gina, second quarter. So Sterlington is no stranger to the Dome. They would appear to be, at this point, on their way. Short kick to about the 15-yard line, up the middle and taken out past the 40. That was Meeking on the return for Union Parish.
Again, starting with great field position, nice blocking at the point of attack, middle return. He hits it right up the middle, and they're starting off at the 41-yard line.
Yeah, and that's one of the things here. I mean, these offenses are good.
Right, so when you're starting
these kicks not tremendously deep are giving these offenses, and with good return games as well,
correct.
They're getting short fields to work with here. So at the 41, gain of about 3 on first down. And
I think that was
due on the carry.
Yeah,
yes.
It was a fullback on the hard dive due. They usually use a couple of fullbacks. We'll see Derek Dew. We'll see T.J. Wallace in there also at fullback. And a lot of times we got to make sure which one is getting the ball, and that was Dew that time on the hard dive.
So 2nd down and 7. The ball at the 44-yard line. Off the left side. That time we're getting a look at a different back in there, and I believe that is Tyrion Taylor, who we've seen at linebacker some, but will carry the ball on occasion and rumbled right there.
Look at the blocking at the point of attack. This Union Parish offensive line is good. These guys do a great job with their pin and pulls, their kickouts and seals. Their blocking at the point of attack is phenomenal, which has given these guys creases to run the ball in. And when you've got athletes running the ball, you're going to make yards.
You've already had 5 different players carry the ball for Union Parish. Now we're back to Mr. Wilson doing the job, and he will get about 4 on first down. You gotta spot him, Wade. That's one of these things when you do play guys both ways. He can't play every snap.
Correct.
You've got Travis Hunter's doing that at Colorado right now. I'm not sure. Look, that maybe works at the college level to a certain degree when you got a lot more athletes around you, but
you got to pick and choose your spots in the right situations and where the ball is on the field. And you got to also, in the situation of the game, right?
On 2nd and 6, not much doing right there for Wilson as he only got about a yard.
That was a great tackle that time by number 9, Nolan Zenon. We've called his name a couple times tonight. He had a strip for a fumble earlier in the game, and he makes a nice shoestring tackle right there that time on Tykarius Wilson.
So here's a big play, 3rd and 5. Now, you're certainly at the 34-yard line on the plus side of the 50. This is 4-down territory right here, but
no doubt
we've not seen a lot of 3rd down situations in this game on either side thus far.
They're going unbalanced line.
Look to throw. Got a man behind the secondary and a touchdown. And that was Meeking, Chase Meeking, for the second time tonight, who beat double coverage in reality there, Wade, and just streaked by everybody for the score, and Union Parish has the lead once again.
Well, you go to sleep. You're playing run, 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 run. Your eyes deceive you on your keys. Someone slips behind the man coverage. This time it was Chase Meeking on the post route for the touchdown. You got to read your keys. You got to keep your eyes where they're supposed to be, and if you're going to play man coverage, everybody else has got to be reading their keys and make sure that they are defending the pass as well as the run. Going for 2.
Got to try to make up that point right there, and they'll try the toss to the left side, and in for the 2. That was once again the big fella back there, Tyrion Taylor, to get it done. So Union Parish not only gets the touchdown, they get the 2 to get it back on schedule, if you will, or on serve. It's 21-14.
Yeah, back on schedule right now. They give the ball back to St. James and tell them it's your turn now, right? So advantage, Union Parish.
So we have seen thus far in this game 7 possessions, I believe, and 5 scores. Yeah, we've had 2 stops. Union Parish had the fumble. St. James had gave it away on downs. But other than that, it's been 5 touchdowns.
Yeah, and the loneliest guy in the stadium is each team's punter. He's not going to get much work tonight. That net won't even get used, I bet. Right. So...
Another short kick this time. They are trying desperately now to keep it away from the threat of Kendrick Joseph returning, and this one will only get to about the 31-yard line.
Wow, this.
And did we have a flag as well?
I don't see one.
Okay, I thought they were talking about something here. That's why I'm
right. Yep, there was a flag.
Holding against St. James, so they will back up now, and this is going to be the worst field position for either team in this game thus far.
And I was just fixing to say that this is going
to be even before the holding penalty,
right.
It may have been the worst field position. So this is going to put them back at the 21-yard line.
Hey, those officials picked the flag up real fast. We didn't see it, right?
No, actually, they'll put it at the 19. So inside the 20-yard line. Now they move it ahead again. Okay, so they'll get somebody eyes in the sky perhaps told them, move it to the 21. They'll check at the line here as Jawan Jackson and the St. James offense back to work. King Young the sidecar and 2 wide receivers to each side. Quick toss out this way. Got a man open. 30, 35, and brought down at about, they're put it down right at the 35-yard line. That was Kane Zenon, a gain of 14 on the play and a first down.
Look, it's like stealing. If you're going to stay in a too high coverage again, take a look at it.
Nobody on him right now.
Right, nobody's there. They're going to run the bubble. They're going to get him out one-on-one, so that means that safety you can see right there. Chance Hobson's got to come down hill into the alley and make a one-on-one tackle, and it didn't take place.
So now from the 35. Not much doing there.
Well, the other thing that's happening is if you're going to stay in that too high coverage, you're going to be working against 5- and 6-man boxes, right? So if you spread them with your formation, that signals run the football against 5- and 6-man boxes. But you got to block at the point of attack. I mean, it doesn't matter if you don't block somebody. So you can counter right there. You can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, about 6.5 guys. Now they make a slight adjustment and they bring a safety up.
Like a little pop pass right there, and Union Parish had that well defended. Did the ball come out?
Union Parish acts as if
They
they did, and they did, yes.
They do have the football. Curtis Benson, the senior defensive lineman, came away with it. And I guess the question would be here, did he ever have the football? It appeared he didn't. Made a football move there, and it might have got ripped out by
Robert Hambrick, I believe.
Yeah, I think it was 32. Got a hand in there and knocked it out.
Slaps it out of his hands. Ball comes out on the ground.
And I think that's what Levanta Davis is asking about.
Right.
Wait, that was a pass. Did he ever possess the ball?
Right. Let's everybody remember, even though he is in close proximity to the quarterback at the time, the quarterback is flipping it forward to him. That is considered a pass, and it looks like they've got it straight now. They've considered it a catch, a reception, and then a fumble.
Based on what we saw there, that's the right call. And again, there is no instant replay at this point of the high school football playoffs. We'll see it next week. Wide open to the big tight end. The guy you've been wanting to talk about all night here, Wade. Ari Slocum on the play action gets down inside the 10 to the 9-yard line.
Look, watching him catch the ball in pregame, it was like sponges were catching the ball. Nice, soft hands. Now, look, that's not a little dude, right? I mean, that's a big guy, and he's upset. I'd be upset. That'd be like somebody taking the chicken leg away from him at dinner, right? Look, he was upset. He did not get into the end zone.
Exactly. First and goal. Nothing doing off the right side that time as they were waiting for Wilson. No gain. It's second and goal.
I guess what I'm trying to say in all those words is what an outstanding athlete he is, and I'm sure he is going to be getting a lot of offers here real soon.
Right. He is ranked 25th by 247 Sports in the Louisiana class of 2026. Now, we're seeing him at tight end. May seem a little bit on defense later, but he is projected at the next level as a defensive end. And you could see he is a large fella.
Yes, he is.
But he fits in well with this scheme as the pile just continues to push and into the end zone for a touchdown. He was stopped, was Wilson, probably at the 5-yard line, and the line never stopped pushing, and he got across.
Yeah, everything just kept moving like, I guess you would say, a rugby scrum, correct? Everybody locked up, locked horns. Look right at about the 5-yard line, everybody. There's your ISO wraparound guard right there, ISO power. And you saw the big scrum at the 5-yard line, and everybody just keeps shoving that pile, and Wilson's in the end zone for another touchdown.
High snap, but it's handled, and the kick is good, and Union Parish has regained the lead 28, or they should say extended the lead. It's 28-14 with 6:38 to play here in the second quarter. So that is now 2 touchdowns in the span of, a little over 2.5 minutes right now.
Well, they can score quick, right? And both teams can score quick. We've seen that tonight. So, hey, hold on, folks. It ain't over. You know, what was real interesting was talking to Joe Spatafor before the game in the routine. I asked him how was his trip down. He says, it's routine now. We come south so much. We're on a bus ride all the time. So that's real interesting how they handle things.
They're used to coming to the Dome.
Right.
And with a 14-point lead at the moment, although down the sideline, here goes a return, still on his feet, and down to near the 30-yard line. That was Connie King-Young. He does it all.
Wow.
He kicks, he's at running back, and he handles the returns, and they put him in the right spot here to get this. The return goes for 42 yards.
A lot of missed tackles there. There is 1, 2, 3, 4.
Finally brought down.
Right, finally brought down. Gets through 4 tackles, and here we go. Great field position for the Wildcats.
So they take over at the 30-yard line. Quarterback will keep it off the right side. Got to show that every once in a while just to respect what it is that you do in the running game.
Well, off the RPO or the read zone, whatever you want to call it now, right? You got to keep that backside linebacker and backside end honest. Try to keep them home from chasing you down away from them, and that's how you do it.
And that was Joseph on the carry, and he'll get it down near the marker. Spot the football at the 23-yard line. It'll be 3rd down and 3.
They've picked their tempo up. Interesting.
Going quickly, they will be short of the line to gain there. And it's going to be 4th down. That was once again Joseph on the carry.
And they bring King Young back on the field. He was off the field for that particular play.
Might have been out for the first 3 after
a kickoff return.
After that return. So now we got a different look here. Look, we see 3 receivers to the top.
3 on 2.
Yeah, and along with the slot man there is Shaden Frazier trying to outnumber them. Do they get it? They do. They ran for it and got it across the line to gain that time with King Young.
You know, a lot of teams have a built-in look.
I say that. Now, wait. Now they're standing at the 20. Let's make sure now they're going to signal 1st down. I don't want to jump the gun there.
Right. I mean, we saw 3 over 2 over there on the boundary, right? A lot of teams have a built-in check that if you see 3 over 2 out there, you just pop that ball out there because you figure you're going to get the 2 guys on defense tied up and you've got your person that has the ball running free. I was surprised they didn't do that when they saw the 3 over 2.
So now at the 20, King Young, left side, trying to bounce it. Makes one man miss. Oh, check that. That is King Young on the carry. You get a hard time reading those numbers there. I couldn't tell if that was 5 or 9.
Yeah, it's
they
kind of
get crunched up. They bunch up on their backs there. That was a gain of 9 on the play. And it's 2nd and 1 at the 11.
I want everybody to watch this. His own offensive line got in his way. Right? He's gonna bounce it outside, and he decides to cut back against the grain right here. Now, well, look at this. Hey, guys, get out of my way. Or do something. Block somebody for me, right?
That timeout was called. I did not see who signaled for that. Let's see if they've made some indication on the scoreboard. I believe it was Union Parish because there's 1 timeout remaining each way. 4:07 as you see the play here in what has been a very entertaining and back and forth first half of football.
Well, that's the reason. That's the semifinals, right? I mean, that's what you want in the semifinals. Right. And it's going on all over the state now.
Speaking of, let's quickly update you. We mentioned Division I non-select earlier. Division I select, the 2nd quarter in Algiers. Carr leads Catholic 7-6. Up in central Louisiana, Alexandria leads John Curtis Christian 7-0, 2nd quarter. Division II non-select, it is Franklinton leading Iowa 22-7, 2nd quarter. Cecilia leads Plaquemine 29-14 in the 2nd quarter. Cecilia, of course, got to the Dome a year ago. If Franklinton can win tonight, Nick Salter-Formaggio will take his 3rd different school to the Dome. Think about that. It's hard to do it once. Brought down in the backfield. Tremendous penetration by Tyquarius Wilson that time.
Yeah, you got to block him, right? They didn't get a body on him, and he does a nice job bringing down the St. James running back, I believe was King Young.
Yeah. So now 2nd and 1 turns into 3rd and 3. One of the things that both of these teams can strike so quickly that you really don't get the opportunity, but it seems like the best offense against the teams like this is to try to play keep away from the other team, but they're just so good at striking quickly that you don't get a chance to give your defense any time away from it. Now they run that little quick pass that we've seen before. And is that a flag that came down, or was that a mouthpiece that fell out? Something went down, but in any case, it's a first down to King Young at the 5-yard line.
Yeah, it's not yellow. It looked like a mouthpiece,
right.
maybe.
Yep, and I see Trailer went back to get it there. And they'll put the ball down at the 5-yard line. Give them 8 on the catch and run that time. And it's 1st and goal for St. James. This is a must score right here. Give it away on 1st down, and King Young maybe got a yard on that one.
Yeah, he rammed it up inside, but he was met hard by a ton of white jerseys led by Curtis Benson, who we called his name already tonight with a fumble recovery. Now, that is a thick dude, right? He's not very tall, but he is extremely, bodied up, should I say. I saw him. They were all out before the game with no shirts on, and I was looking at that guy, and he looked like a walking muscle.
Game time temperature was 45 degrees, and these guys were out here without shirts on. Yeah, we've seen that in the NFL. They come out in those cold weather games and, want to make a statement, whatever. That's King Young up inside. Let's see where they mark his forward progress. Well, it's not stopped yet. It's still moving, it seems like. They're going to call it down. It looks like inside the 2. It may be the 1 will wait for the official spot, but it's going to be 3rd and goal.
That seems like all the craze today, right? Help the running back, right? From the push-tush to get the scrum moving and everybody go behind it and push it forward, right? It used to be a rule that you could not aid a runner.
Right. It's one of those things now. I guess they've made it easier. We can't figure out what's what. Let's just
no longer a rule.
Yeah, let's allow it to happen. King Young up inside. Did he get there? Yes, touchdown. Had to wait for the signal.
Well, I waited for the horn.
There you go. Well, the horn is,
Right.
The horn isn't always official, so that's something we haven't seen much of tonight, Wade. I'd call that a sustained drive. Even though it only covered 30 yards, it took 10 plays, and it knocked off the clock 5 minutes and 11 seconds. And that's what these two teams need to do, just to give their defenses a blowout there.
Right, and what that does also is it builds confidence for your offense, that if you have to put together a drive, you can put together a drive.
We got a flag down. The kick was no good, but hold everything. Let's see.
I think we might get hurdling, where they jumped over the center in the guard box.
Personal foul against the defense. So we'll have another try coming. What is your you see a lot of times, now they'll move it to the 1.5. You'll see teams now try to go for 2 in this situation. You think say kick it?
Well, I think it also depends on your kicker, right? I mean, I've had kickers where moving them off of the 10-yard line completely flipped them out, and they couldn't make that kick.
And we're going to see a timeout here, I guess. Union Parish called the timeout. I guess they want to talk about things.
Getting back to the kick, Lenny, I mean, do you know the closer you get with the ball to the goal line reduces the angle, even though it's in the center of the field. It's vertical, right? But if it's on a hash, it makes everything hard, right?
Yeah. Well, keep in mind you've got that's
right.
And I know there's been some debate about do you move the hash marks in high school football, and try to tighten them up, bring them in line with the college game and with the goalpost and stuff.
No, I'm a traditionalist, right? You and I have had this conversation before about how traditional I am. Mm-hmm. Getting back to the kick again, it depends on my dude. If it doesn't rattle him and he doesn't have a problem, I go ahead and kick the 1. And then it also depends on whether or not and where we are in the game, and do I need just the 1
exactly.
or do I have to go for the 2?
And here's the other thing to remember: if you've got some kind of gadgetry out there, King Young's your kicker, who's also your running back.
Correct.
So if you've got something where you could just snap the ball to him and let him basically run a wildcat situation.
And you could be inventive. Exactly. Mm-hmm. You can be inventive.
Absolutely.
For a situation like this. Looks like they're going to go for the 2.
And it looks like they are, yep. After the timeout and after the penalty, the ball's at the 1.5 yard line. And it's going to be a quarterback run, and he got in. Well, I tell you what, if we had instant replay, we might be looking at that one because I thought his knee might have hit the ground before he crossed, but they will give him the 2.
And he was carrying Ari Slocum on his back. Watch right here. There's a hit in the backfield. Ari Slocum is trying to pull him back. That knee might have been down. That was real close. But he dragged Ari Slocum across the goal line with him to get the 2 points.
So we have already seen 50 points scored in this game with still a minute 27 to play before halftime, and what has become, I think, pretty sure the highest scoring game going right now in Louisiana. Division two select. We're going to take another look here.
Oh, my
that
goodness.
Is close.
That is close.
And
That's
again,
very close.
Where's the ball at that point?
Correct.
Just remember, the tip of the ball just has to touch the front edge of the goal line. That's all that has to happen. Obviously, we don't have a camera sitting right on the goal line to be able to show you that.
Let's also say next week in the Dome, they will be reviewing plays like that.
That could absolutely get reviewed.
Hence, that's the reason why a 2-hour game turns into a 3-hour game sometimes.
Perhaps. Division II Select, second quarter, Shaw and Madison Prep on the West Bank tied at 14. E.D. White down the Bayou leading Leesville second quarter 14-0. Of course, those winners will face off in the Dome. And here comes the return. We'll get out near the 30-yard line, and that was once again Meeking on the return. He's got 2 touchdowns of his own tonight through the air.
Yeah, he comes in with 761 yards receiving, right? And so, I mean, they've thrown the ball a little bit this season, you know, and like I said, people go to sleep on the throwing game.
Patterson tonight is 4 for 4 for 84 yards and a couple of touchdowns.
Exactly. So, I mean, they can throw the ball when they have to.
That's the thing. If you can in an offense like this, you don't need to do it a lot, but you're going to get some great looks to be able to do it. On first down, between the tackles goes Wilson for a gain of about 6. And remember, Union Parish is out of timeouts at this point, but as explosive as these running games can be, your running game can almost be your 2-minute offense.
Well, they like to huddle, right? So they're going to take their time, and it'll eat up some clock.
Well, and remember now, you know, we just had the score by St. James. St. James gets the ball to start the third quarter. Toss sweep, trying to get to the edge. Breaks a tackle. Nearly breaks another one, but will go down at the 45-yard line. Did the ball come out? No, they're going to say he's down.
He was down, whistle blown, ball slips out right there.
They'll call it the 46 officially, and it's first down with 33 seconds to play. Clock stops for a moment. Now they wind it.
They'll take a shot here in a second off of some sort of play action, I'm sure.
145 yards rushing in the first half for Tyquarius Wilson. Toss sweep again. And Wilson's going to get a couple, and that should be the end of the first half based on the way they're operating here. I don't think we're going to see another play.
Thought sure they would take some sort of play action pass shot just for the funsies of it, right? But they're not. They're going to let it run out, and both teams will retire to halftime.
What an entertaining first half of football. 50 points on the board, 7 touchdowns by these two teams. We'll get you the offensive numbers in a bit, but this has been a lot of fun to watch thus far. We'll pause for a moment. We'll come back. We'll take a look at the schedule, the scores, what's coming up next week in the Dome. It is halftime. Union Parish 28 and St. James 22. You are watching high school football from Crescent City Sports. And we welcome you back to Vacherie. Lenny Van Gilder, Wade Kaiser, and our Crescent City Sports production team. It is halftime. Union Parish leading St. James 28-22. We've down to 32 teams still playing football in Louisiana. 16 games tonight. The winners head to the Dome next week for the LHSA Prep Classic. Let's look at how things stack up on the non-select side. First of all, with tonight's schedule, we'll take you through the scores as well. A bit of a surprise, if you will, at the top of that schedule in Division I. Central leads Neville 10-7 at halftime. Neville's been outstanding all year long, and Central going in there and having the lead at the half, maybe a bit of a surprise. Halftime in Ruston, and Ruston leads Destrehan 24-0. So Ruston trying to get back to the Dome. As you look at Division II, Franklinton, that's a game you can hear over as part of Ken Trahan's original Prep Football Report on 106.1 The Ticket. The 1 seed leading Iowa at the half, 22-7. Cecilia's second quarter leads Plaquemine 36-14. Of course, our game here is 28-22 Union Parish at the half. The other semifinal game in Division III non-select, it is all Sterlington, 35-0. They lead Gina at halftime. And then in Division IV, of course, Haynesville, out of 300 schools in the state, they are the last school in the state to still kick off at 7:30. They have never changed. Maybe they never will change. So they are just in the first quarter right now, leading General Trask 10-0. The other game, pretty good one going on down in Buras tonight. Logansport, boy, is that a long trip. Logansport to South Plaque.
Wow.
Logansport leading at 7-6 at halftime. So
you got to leave a week ahead of time.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. What surprises you there of some of what we've seen thus far
well,
here?
Obviously the Central Baton Rouge and Neville. Neville has been the picture of consistency all year long, right? And Central Baton Rouge right now is up on Neville. That is a huge surprise. And Franklinton has played great football all year, and I think Franklinton, if they, do what they're supposed to do and continue the way they're supposed to, they should be looking at a trip to the Dome.
Well, again, they got a 2-score lead right now, right. 22-7, and we mentioned it during the second quarter. Nick Saltaformaggio took East Jefferson to the Dome, took Hahnville to the Dome, and is now 24 minutes away from taking Franklinton to the Dome in just his second year. And that was a team that won 3 games a year ago.
Correct.
What a turnaround that he has made there.
And the other surprise is Logansport made it down to South Plaquemine on time.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, that is such a long drive, even coming from New Orleans to get down to South Plaque, right? So, just all kidding aside, though, that's some good football going on in that Division IV.
Yeah, as we switch over to the select side, and we'll update you on what is going on in those games. And how about this one, Wade? Halftime in Algiers, Catholic leads Carr 12-7. Meanwhile, in the other Division I select semifinal, Alexandria leading John Curtis at the half, 14-0. In Division II, Shaw has stretched it back out. They had the first 14. Madison Prep scored the next 14. Shaw has answered with back-to-back touchdowns. They lead 28-14 just before the half in Marrero. They have reached the half down in Thibodaux, where E.D. White leads Leesville, easy for me to say, 21-0. And, of course, that bottom of the bracket got all convoluted with the whole situation with University Lab in there. Leesville was kind of the beneficiary of that, in that they were able to get Booker T in the quarterfinals and get on through to the semis, but now they're running into a pretty good E.D. White football team. In Division III, Bunkie leading Dunham at the half, 16-15, and Catholic of New Iberia in Shreveport leading Calvary Baptist 14-10 at half. So potentially, if those hold up, you're looking at a 5 and a 7 getting through to the state championship in Division III select. And in Division IV select, Vermilion Catholic has been the chalk in this division all year. They lead Kentwood 20-0 second quarter. And Ascension Catholic against Ouachita Christian. I think a lot of people, OCS was a popular pick here, but Ascension Catholic leading at 20-10 at halftime. So we're seeing some lower seeds with leads
Right.
at this point that we mentioned. Catholic is up, and Bunkie is up, and Catholic of New Iberia is up. So
right.
you've got the potential for some upsets there, with still a ways to go.
Well, yeah, and a ways to go, correct, and a couple of them, like you're just waiting for Edna Carr to snap out of it, right? I mean,
Well, that's happened. That's happened before,
right?
It's-
We've covered Edna Carr, obviously, in the Catholic League multiple times this year, and we've seen them down. Then all of a sudden, it's like they turn the engine on, and it just takes off. But look, Catholic Baton Rouge has played good defense all year. There's no doubt about it. Hey, what about the consistency out of E.D. White? Out of that program down there, year in, year out for the past, I would say 8 years or so, they are continuously, a force to be reckoned with. And the Vermilion Catholic, another stalwart, down there in Division 4, that year in, year out, they either are close to making it to the Dome, or they're right one step away from it.
Mm-hmm. A year ago, Riverside went down there and
Right.
beat them in the semifinals.
Correct.
Trying to get back to a championship game here. So again, you're going to have 16 teams left at the end of the night. Let's look at how things line up to head to the Superdome next weekend for the LHSA Prep Classic. It's a little bit different schedule in terms of what we've seen in the past. There's going to be 3 games on Thursday, noon through 3:30 and 7, 3 games on Friday, and just 2 games on Saturday afternoon. So you look at the early games on Thursday. It's the 2 Division 4 games, first select followed by non-select. The nightcap on Thursday, the winner of this game will take on, it stands right now, Sterlington, with a 35-0 lead. That would be the primetime game on Thursday night in the Dome. On Friday, you've got 2 really good, potentially, select games in Division 2 and Division 3. If Shaw can hang on, last one across the CCC on, Friday morning, turn
Right.
out the lights, right?
Yeah, they have lights on the bridge.
Yeah,
now,
they
right?
do now. Yeah, exactly. And then the Division 3 game, who knows? That could be, that could be the Cinderella story based on what we're seeing at this point. Closing out with the Division 2 non-select game, which at this point is Cecilia with the lead, Franklinton with the lead. That, again, there could be a lot of people coming down from Washington Parish for that night game on Friday if that holds up. And then on Saturday, of course, you get the 2 Division 1 games, select at noon, non-select at 3:30. It's going to be an interesting next hour to see how this all stacks up and see who is actually headed to the Dome. So,
Right.
we're certainly looking forward. We look forward to these 3 days every year.
And the thing I can tell everybody, and if you're a veteran of going to the Dome games, the only ones that normally start on time are the first ones, right? Because you have all types of overtimes and games that finish quickly, games even though they'll still start them at the prescribed time. The thing about it is make a day of it. Right, make a day of it, because it's great just to take in the whole atmosphere of all of the teams that will be playing on those 3 days.
So as we finish running down all the scores, we get a chance here, if we can, take a look at what's happened here in the first half, because it's been very entertaining. And you look at the numbers here in the first half, the combined yardage, 458 yards between these two teams, and they're doing it both ways. I mean, obviously you see that gaudy rushing number for Union Parish. That is a lot because of Tyquirius Wilson, who has 146 yards on 14 carries in the first half. But they've both teams have been able to throw it, and they each have the 1 turnover. So it's look, this is this has been a game where stops have been at a premium at this point. We've had 2 turnovers and we've had 1 loss on downs, and that's basically been about it thus far in terms of trying to get stops out there.
Right, and what that group of stats doesn't show are the splash plays on special teams. The return game tonight for both teams has been spectacular, right? They've set up scores and great field positions. So, I would think we will continue to see that same sort of spectacular special teams play here in the second half. St. James a little bit more balanced with the rush pass, and then Union Parish, that 84 yards pass, and those are splash plays, right?
Absolutely,
big
yeah.
plays.
They've covered 13, 13, 34, and 24. So yeah,
exactly. So that's kind of what the tale of the tape is telling us there. And a lot of times you can look at stats, and what is it saying? It's saying that there are big splash plays that have been taking place out there for both teams.
All right. Well, we will take a break here, and we will come back and get you set for the second half of football. It has been quite the entertaining first half thus far. We expected nothing less. Union Parish 28, St. James 22. Back with our second half coming up. You're watching high school football from Crescent City Sports.
Ladies and gentlemen, please take out your half and half ticket. Our winning number is 6785332. Again, that winning number is 6785332. With the winning ticket holders, please report to the concession stand.
my cap, all I gotta do, I gotta hold my hand like that. When I get in my bed, and
I know you want to see if they clear it up. That's on.
I'm gonna let Shane go. Jackson Cole.
Monday and Tuesday will be in Jackson, but they leave on vacation again. They going to San Antonio on a train. They're taking a train out of Shreveport, Louisiana. I never knew they had a train stop in Shreveport. Damn.
Why go way over there? Huh?
Dude, my hands are freezing.
Boy, email from how you come that does the suppers.
Insulated.
His wife does
My legs.
trips or whatever. She's like a travel agent. And she asked them all to go. Dude, that ain't bad though. For two people to ride on a train, I think it's like $400 there and back. That ain't bad. And
For how long?
it take, I think he said it's like 8 hours. By the time they get everything on and get moving, they got only 3 stops. And then they in San Antonio. Then they got a bed, they're a B&B they rented.
Yeah, that
I'm
ain't
like,
bad.
bro, that ain't gonna be a bad little trip. It's something different, you know?
And you can drink all you want.
Yeah, not too many people can say they're rolling a fucking train.
They got one that goes to Memphis too.
Yeah, I know.
It goes like in the afternoon, and they got another one that comes back at like 2 or 3 in
Well, I
the
know
morning.
Mike Fox went over a couple of years. They took one. They took JB to California from New Orleans. Dude, that gotta be nice. I mean, look,
Just to see it.
if you like to on a train ride, and like they got rooms to sleep and all that motherfucker.
You got like bars, restaurants.
Oh, that's what they said. They asked the guy, they asked the company how long the bar is open. They said it's open 24/7. That's all they were worried about.
Hey! One's out for the rest of the game. One's out for the rest of the game.
Getting set for the start of the third quarter here in Vacherie is both teams back out of the locker rooms. I'm sure it was nice and warm. Comparatively speaking to the mid-40s that we're experiencing here this evening.
Well, you got to remember, those guys up in Union Parish, they're used to a little bit colder weather, right?
Probably so, especially they might go back tonight. It's in the 20s, where we're not going to, may not get to that here, but
they got to cover their plants up there, right?
Probably so. But look, this time of year, you get that. I remember 2009, I believe it was, semifinal Friday. That was the year that Rummel first made it to the state championship game, and they went to Westgate. I believe they played the game at Cajun Field.
Yes, they did.
And they played in the snow.
They played in the snow. They did.
Yeah.
Yes.
Those, obviously, at that, and look,
memorable occasions.
I think semifinal Friday it's a lot like the NFC and AFC championship games.
Yes.
This is the game that gets you to the Dome. It's whatever happens in the Dome, obviously win a state championship, that's certainly special. But to win that game to get to the Dome, that's
right. There's nothing better to feel that feeling after the game is over in that semifinals, to know that the next week you're practicing to play a state championship game.
No question about it.
It's phenomenal.
All right, so St. James kept the ball for 5 minutes and 11 seconds on that just 30-yard drive that took 10 plays. They converted a 4th down and 2 third downs. And I have to wonder if we're going to see more of that kind of look. From either side, these guys are explosive. We need to try to, the best defense maybe to try to hold on to the football a little bit.
Yeah, like slow things down. Mm-hmm. I don't know if it's in their DNA.
Yeah, exactly.
It's their DNA is get ball, score, right? That's what they do. So that's what they've done all season. So it'll be interesting to see if they employ that strategy. I just don't think they have it in their DNA.
Okay, Ryan Reeder will pooch this kickoff again. That is fielded by one of the upbacks, and room to run out past midfield, still on his feet to about the 42-yard line, and that was one of the St. James wide receivers, Kamon Mitchell, who peeled back and made a tremendous over-the-shoulder catch and then turned it right upfield here, made one man miss, and the next thing you know, he's across the 50-yard line.
Yeah, second big play of the night, right? He had a touchdown catch earlier in the first quarter, and that is the second time he's touched the ball tonight on a kickoff return to set the offense up in great field position.
So St. James will operate from the Union Parish 42-yard line. In the first half, Jawan Jackson threw for 101 yards. Connie King Young ran for 64. We'll get the little pass in the flat here. Ball's out. It's picked up on the run. And once again, Johnny on the spot. That's the wide receiver, Mitchell. But this is going way back in the wrong direction. It's a loss of 13 on the play.
Yeah, we've seen that in the first half where they're just flare the ball out, get the ball out quick to the wide receiver, and block out there on the flank. That time, great job by the Farmers getting there to meet the play in the backfield. And that was Chance Hopkins from his corner position to come up and make a great play, and then the ball pops out, and like you said, you see the wide receiver, Kamon Mitchell, got on the ball, and he's a little slow getting up, right?
So when we resume, it's going to be second down and 23.
Yeah, that's a tough call on that play sheet, right? I mean, they're not used to being in the 2nd and 23 range.
So it's not exactly the return. Outstanding, of course. You get yourself in field position. That's not the kind of play you wanted to come out and start with offensively.
Yeah, well, credit that Farmer defense for coming up and on the flank, defeating blocks and making a great tackle.
And that's you needed to see some kind of adjustment there,
Right.
because that type of play, they have, St. James had a lot of success with that. We saw, again, we saw the highlights last year. That was basically the same play they ran with Kobe Young and popped a long touchdown pass there.
Yeah, some sort of screen out there, wide receiver screen, something like that. That time it was the back out of the backfield with the wide receivers blocking. Try and just get the ball out on the flank real quick. The adjustment Union Parish made was going to a one-high safety, getting another man down at the line of scrimmage or into the box area, so that way you're going to have to block an extra man and try to force the issue a little bit more. And you'll probably see more of that out of, and you're seeing it right now, out of Union Parish.
And just that single high look, as you mentioned. They got 10 guys within 5 yards of the line of scrimmage. Take a shot down the field on 2nd and 23. Man is open and running inside the 20-yard line. And guess who? That is Kane Zenon. We've called his name a couple of times tonight. Makes a big play right there. It's his 3rd catch. That one goes for 35 yards.
Well, it looked like a couple of guys, the defensive backs from Union Parish were playing a man and a couple of guys were playing zone, and it looked like there was some confusion in that secondary. Well, when they finally figured it out, they had receivers running past them, had a flag on that play also. So
yeah, I think there might have been a face mask at the end of the play. So now it's going to be, I believe it's 1st and goal at the 10. Let's see. I don't see us. Yeah, the sticks are down. So
Union Parish has struggled all night in the secondary.
At the 10. This time it is Joseph on the carry. He will get a couple.
Again, back to the previous play and the big splash play on the pass, everybody's got to be on the same page. They were not on the same page in the secondary. Like I said, a couple of guys playing zone, a couple of guys playing man, and you have a wide-open receiver for a splash play.
Joseph hits the right side. It's closed up quickly, though, by that Union Parish front. It's going to be 3rd and goal. And this is clearly, at this point, 4-down territory.
No doubt. On that tackle, again, Curtis Benson. Big dude in the middle.
Put it back at the 6, where it's 3rd down and goal. Make a quick substitution here. Still a lot of time. Play clock at 10, as you see on your screen. Pass in the flat. Villanueva gets to about the 1, and it's going to be 4th and goal. Only the 3rd catch tonight. They've done a nice job against Villanueva thus far.
Yeah, it's going to be 4th and a long one, almost 1.5. So they're going to bring back in their running combination here with King Young, and
this is a huge play in this football game right here. 4th and goal.
And their fullback.
And in tight, they got the 2 wingbacks and 1 wide receiver. Now they're going to motion to 1 wingback over. King Young is stood up and did not get there. Tremendous penetration, and Tyquirius Wilson led the way, and Union Parish gets a goal line stand to start this 3rd quarter.
That's a huge momentum builder. Watch Tyquirius Wilson make a play, takes on the block with his right shoulder, defeats the block, and pulls down the running back for a loss.
Yeah,
Wow.
They're going to bring it back to the 2-yard line, so a huge stop right there.
Great play by number 1, Tyquirius Wilson. He is a good football player. He is impressive.
And he will dot the I in the backfield here on whistles before this can get started. I think St. James lined up with 12.
Yeah, it's going to be a substitution infraction.
And that's big, because right there you've got it backed up in the shadow of their goalpost. Now you let them out a little bit. Now it's going to be 1st and 5 at the 7.
Yeah, 1st and 5 is nice, right? I mean, that is really nice. When you're backed up, you got breathing room. Brings in a lot of possibilities, but Union Parish's possibilities, they're going to run that football with number 1.
You would think. In the first half, Tyquarius Wilson, 14 carries for 146 yards. Gets it on first down. He is stood up. Will get maybe a couple.
Yeah, a lot of guys there in black jerseys, right? They're getting off blocks there, and they do a nice job gang tackling Wilson before he can get going. And that's what you got to do with that type of guy. You just can't let him get going. I mean, you got to get bodies on him and a lot of people around him quick.
So 2nd and about 3. They'll go toss this time, and Wilson gets stood up, but I think he got to the sticks, and it's going to be a first down.
Yeah, he picks his way through. He's got nice vision. Hey, the other thing he is, if you watch him run, he's patient. He lets things develop, right? And he can see it developing, just kind of gives a little dead leg here and then bounces it out there and then will weave it back inside. And then once he's in the clear, he's got the jets to turn it on when nobody can catch him.
Right. It's one thing here, with this Union Parish program, they have produced their share of running backs, haven't they? I mean, you had, talk more after this play of first down pass. Lets one fly, and it is. Could have been intercepted, but 2 St. James players ran into each other right there. Williams had a beat on it. So did Gary White. I think White knocked it away from Williams.
Yeah, and the intended receiver was Chase Meeking, who turned into a defensive back, right? He knew that ball was going to be picked. He knew he had to come back and do something. He went over the 2 St. James defenders to knock the ball away. That's a heads-up play by that young man.
Right. We were... When we showed you the highlights in the open, of course, you had Jamarian Island. He rushed for over 2,000 yards last year as a senior. He kind of bided his time behind Trey Holly, who's the all-time leading rusher in Louisiana history, rushed for over 10,000 yards in his career. He started as an 8th grader at Union Parish. That is crazy to think about.
Right. It's got to be something in the water up there, right? I mean, it's something. It's just like, okay, they're waiting in the wings down in the elementary school to come up and be a running back for Union Parish.
Now, Wilson only came into tonight with 1,089 yards. He's got 158 thus far this evening. Here's a 3rd and 5. Guess who? Bounces off a tackle. He was hit at the 20-yard line and just spun right off of that tackle and fell forward to the 25 and moves the chains.
Lenny, here's the next thing. You don't get a clean shot on this guy. What's the guys in the black jersey? There's a clean shot right there that Chaden Parker had on him, but he only got a piece of him. So as he was spinning and moving, you just can't get your pads planted on the guy, and all of a sudden he's spun out of there and he picks up the first down at a 3rd and 5.
Yeah, and this is what you want to do when you're backed up in your own end. You get a couple of first downs. Now you're out of the shadow of your goalpost. This time it'll be the fullback. I believe that was Dew. He gets out near the 30-yard line.
Well, the other thing you notice about this offense is they're never behind the sticks.
No.
Right? I mean,
something is always going forward. There's
Correct.
There's so much quick action. You see a lot of that like with option teams and things like that. It's or Curtis with the split back veer. Everything happens so quickly that you don't have a chance to bring anybody down behind the line. Off the left side, that's the big guy Trailer in there at running back, and he gets the first down out to the 37-yard line.
Yeah, that's the linebacker at running back, right? And he's banging and bulling his way. He comes in with 135 yards and 4 TDs, and he's had a mark here tonight not only defensively, but given Wilson a few blows, right? So, obviously Wilson plays both ways. So Traylor enters the game at tailback, and he gets a chance to run the football, which I'm sure, Coach, can I run the ball? Absolutely. Here he is again.
Out past the 40 to about the 42. And it's 2nd and 5, and Union Parish is just grinding things out right now. This drive started back at the 2-yard line with 9:50 on the clock, and they've eaten up over 4 minutes, giving those guys who maybe only play defense, giving them a little bit of a blow after that goal line stand.
Yeah, back in the game is Wilson.
Yeah, Wilson back in. He'll get it here and fall forward. And that's another thing. It's one thing to always get back, but they're falling forward. You got those pads moving forward, and that turns it might have been a 1 or 2 yard carry into a 3-yard gain, and it's 3rd and 2.
The great ones never get knocked back. Did you ever see Barry Sanders knocked backwards? Never. I mean, he was always falling forward for 1, 2, 3, or 10. Right? I mean, the great ones never go backwards.
3rd down, about 2. Ball came out on the ground, and it belongs to St. James. Wilson never got the handoff.
Well, that can be your Achilles heel right there, right? I mean, here you are grinding things out, and then all of a sudden the ball pops out. There's the play that we've seen all night, the ISO power, right? And it looks like he was bobbling the ball.
Right. And I don't think
from the conception of the handoff.
Right. Never had it as
the exchange was weak.
Right.
Correct. And that there's your Achilles heel, and that'll put St. James right back in the picture, right?
Yep. So now St. James will take over with 4:48 to play in the quarter at the 47-yard line. That's what it takes to get a stop sometimes. Yeah?
Well, you got to do what you got to do defensively, and when the opportunity presents itself, you better make sure you can recover a fumble.
They got on the football there. You get down on it, get the snap away just before the play clock runs out, and gain of close to 5 on 1st down, and that is, I believe, Connie King Young on the carry.
Yes, that was Connie King, exactly. Connie King Young, who is another outstanding running back.
He's going to go over very possibly 1,000 yards on this drive for the season. Came in at 918 yards. That was a quarterback keeper that time, I believe.
They had 2 over 1 out there, RPO. He did the right thing. He pulls the ball out, and he goes to zip the ball out to the RPO with the receiver with 1 blocker in front of him, right? And 1 defender only. I don't know why. He pulls the ball back down, ducks it, and runs inside. You heard the whole coaching staff on the boundary start shouting. That is a rookie mistake. That is a freshman mistake right there.
So now you've got Jackson in the shotgun and 5 wide receivers. Pass is waiting for a signal. Now they'll say it's incomplete. It was intended for Villanueva, who took a shot on the play, and he is still on the ground at the 44-yard line.
Yeah, he's slow getting up. They had 3 over 2 out there again. You can see the 3 wide receivers at the top. They should have thrown to the flat. Everybody can see that on their screen that was the receiver that should have been thrown to. And a lot of times young quarterbacks, they're going to predetermine where they want to throw the football.
Well, and Villanueva is his guy.
Is his guy, right.
Jackson's completed 127 passes coming into the season, or coming into the night.
No doubt.
Villanueva's caught 69. So more than half of the completions have gone his way.
And
wait, I think we're going to have breaking news here, Wade.
Okay.
We may have a punt for the first time this evening.
There you go. He's up off the bench from reading a magazine. And
well, Connie King Young doesn't come out very often.
Right.
So.
I'm kidding about that.
Yeah.
But getting back to, we were talking about in the pregame show about, freshmen in the stage. That's a freshman that has to make that type of play and throw to the correct receiver. Oh, my goodness.
Now, did they get him? We got a flag. Let's see. Did they shift? And I think they shifted out of it. And did Union Parish jump when they did? Keep in mind it was 4th and 5. It is offside against the defense. Now, is it a first down? I haven't seen a signal. Do they need to measure this? It's
going to be close.
Right at it, but clearly St. James thinks they have it here. All right, never mind. We still haven't had a punt in this game.
Yeah.
I tell you what there, Wade, that is not a great spot. I thought the ball was actually touching the 48. That looks like it's shy of the 43. And now it is 4th and a foot. It's not a first down.
Oh.
So
Very, very close.
This is officially at the 44-yard line. So on 4th and a foot, they will spread it out with 4 wide receivers. And it's going to be a quarterback keeper, and I think he got the first down. Pushed him back, but forward progress to the 42. It's a first down as Jackson runs off the left side. And that will move the sticks.
Yeah, just barely got it before he got lit up and knocked backwards.
Yeah, but you could see the pile push to the 42 before he gets moved back, and we've got an injured Wildcat there. One of the offensive linemen is struggling to get off, and they're going to take a look at him. And while they do, it gives us a chance to tell you that tonight's coverage on Crescent City Sports is brought to you by Game On Social Hub at 2421 Veterans in Kenner, with a full-service restaurant, arcade games, bowling, axe throwing, and laser tag. Game On has it all. Open till midnight tonight and on Monday nights from 6 to 7 during football season, including this Monday. Join Ken Trahan and special guests for live football conversation on 106.1 The Ticket. His guest this Monday night will be former St. Chuck Comiskey. So going out to Game On. It's a great venue, and Monday nights are a terrific atmosphere, a chance to meet a lot of former Saints and other football players. It's a fun night to chat and also enjoy the food, the beverage, and all the activities they have.
Yeah, a lot of great guests Ken has out there.
Archie Manning was there a few weeks ago.
That makes it really, really interesting.
Well, while we have a moment here and they're still working on a player, let's catch you up around the state on scores. Neville has taken the lead on Central. They've gone into the fourth quarter. Monroe 13-10. Neville over Central. Fourth quarter, Ruston over Destrehan 38-0. Third quarter, here come the Car Cougars. You knew they weren't done. 21-12 over Catholic. Third quarter, Alexandria leads John Curtis 17-6. In Division II non-select, how about Iowa has rallied to tie Franklinton 22 apiece in the third quarter, and Cecilia leading Plaquemine 42-21. That is in the third quarter. Division II Select, Shaw leading Madison Prep, third quarter 28-14. E.D. White over Leesville, 34-7. They have moved to the fourth quarter in Thibodaux. The other game in this bracket, third quarter, Sterlington leading Jenna 38-8. And in Division III Select, Dunham has rallied to take a 32-16 lead over Bunkie with 17 points in the third quarter. Catholic New Iberia continuing to lead Calvary Baptist 21-17 in the third quarter. We'll catch you up on more of the scores when we have a moment. But right now, we're set to resume play. 1st and 10 for St. James at the 42.
New quarterback in the game.
Yeah, this is Jaden Villanueva who's going to run with it there to the 40-yard line.
Yeah, more interesting, Juwan Jackson was the Wildcat that they were helping up off the field.
And he's back. He seems to be okay. He's ready to come back in, but let's see what they do here.
Yeah, and that brought in Villanueva, must be the brother of Jacaius.
Would think so, and he's a freshman. You got two freshmen. that you've got now for the next 3 years to play here at quarterback.
Yeah, and he's the freshman quarterback is readily limping. I'm sure he doesn't want to be out of this game. He probably talked his way back in.
Right. 2nd and 8. Play action, now steps up and throws, pass caught, still on his feet, out past the 30 to the 25-yard line, and a nice catch and run by Chaden Frazier, the junior.
Yeah, Juwan Jackson makes that happen. He pump fakes, then he throws it again. Watch his action right here in the backfield off the RPO. Very nicely done. Nice pickup by Chaden Frazier.
On 1st down, try to get it off the left side, and I think they blew the play dead. They're going to say that King Young had his knee down at the 27-yard line. He's got terrific balance out there. You remember that play earlier that was called back by penalty that was sensational. He nearly did something similar there.
Yeah, his balance is unbelievable. I think I referenced something with him being a gymnast, right? I mean, he kind of reminds me of that guy that plays for the New Orleans Saints that lines up in the backfield, number 41, with his balance.
On 2nd and 12, play action, pass caught. 1st down to Villanueva at the 14-yard line, a gain of 13.
The numbers were there. The RPO was completely read perfectly by the young freshman Juwan Jackson, who gets the ball out to the one-on-one coverage to Villanueva. This game is not too big for this freshman.
No, he is. He has been very impressive, no doubt.
Correct. Maybe a couple mistakes on the evening, but other than that, he's been operating very nicely, like right here.
Oh, and that pass is tipped and it's intercepted, and this may be headed the other way.
And nobody's catching him. Wow.
Well, maybe not. Oh, gets a block there, and that is a touchdown. That is Ladarian Lloyd, the senior defensive back, his 3rd interception of the year, and this one is a pick 6.
Wow. Just praising Juwan Jackson for making the right read on the RPO,
pass.
But the ball doesn't get caught. The receiver tips the ball up at the same time that the defender gets there. Caden Johnson knocks it in the air right into Lloyd's hands, who goes all the way. But there's a block in the back right at about the 15-yard line that's not called. My goodness gracious.
And credit Connie King Young there for trying to run down the defender. I mean, it would have been
he didn't give up.
Easy just to pull up. He was trying to run him down. Right. Very nearly did. So now it's back to a 2-score game again for Union Parish as we play late in the 3rd quarter. That's the first score of the second half after a first half where we saw 7 touchdowns on the board.
Well, as you said, Lenny, that they've kind of changed the tempo of how they're running their offenses. You know, they've kind of slowed things down and trying to put together those multiple play drives that we were talking about.
So they're going to line up to go for 2 here. Full house backfield, which would make it a 14-point game if you can convert. It really doesn't matter if it's 12 or 13. They'll run the toss, and easily in for the 2 is Tyrion Taylor. So it's 36-22.
You know, back to the interception, I thought the read was correct by the young freshman quarterback. The ball wasn't caught. It was a great defensive play to get out there and tip it up into the air by Caden Johnson. You know, you say, well, that's a freshman mistake. No, it wasn't. It was the right read off the RPO. It was just a great defensive play and a chance still to catch the ball by the receiver.
Yeah, and again, you're down in the red zone, so things are going to tighten up a little bit there.
Exactly. Yeah, no doubt about it. So I think all the way around, it's great defensive play by the Union Parish secondary, and live and learn. You know, young freshman quarterback, you're going to have to make that read again tonight somewhere, and if it presents itself, you make the right read again.
There's another look.
Yep, there's
right
the read
there,
right
it's
there. Yeah.
And really what is supposed to be happening, I think, out there is that, the other wide receiver is probably that's Gravois. 14 is supposed to be
Blocking.
getting a block right there.
Right.
And I guess that because that's legal because the pass is being thrown behind the line, correct?
Yes, it is. And when the young freshman comes off, that's what you tell him.
Onside kick, and what happened here? Whistles. I don't know if we had somebody offside or what happened, but that was an interesting kick there. That was a long two-hopper that very nearly got run down, but we're going to have an offside penalty against Union Parish. They were looking to steal a possession right there.
Yeah, it was just a hard squib that took that two bounding hop.
Big bounces, yep.
Which gave them the opportunity to try to get under it, but it was for not because they had somebody offsides.
So they're going to move it back 5 yards, and let's see how St. James is going to play this one. If they change anything here. That's one thing, this is a 2-score game, but St. James has been able to flip field position, kind of regain momentum in the kicking game here with some of their returns tonight.
Right, they've got an excellent opportunity here to get themselves set up again for a great shot at great field position.
This one will go deep. Back to about the 13, bobbled there. Out past the 25 to the 30 to the 31-yard line. And that was Villanueva on the return that time.
Yeah, Villanueva on the return, Caden Johnson on the stop.
So St. James takes over at the 31-yard line with 31 seconds remaining here in a third quarter that hasn't produced an offensive touchdown. We got a defensive touchdown a moment ago from Union Parish, the 87-yard pick six from LaDarian Lloyd to make this a 2-score game once again.
It's funny how things change, right? I mean,
whistles before this can get underway. They'll wave it off, whatever it was. Let's catch you up on the 4 Division IV scores. On the non-select side, Haynesville leading General Trask 18-6 at half. Third quarter, Logansport with that long trip down to Buras leading South Plaquemines 14-12. Select side, fourth quarter, Vermilion Catholic leads Kentwood 33-0. In fourth quarter, Ouachita Christian has rallied to take a 24-22 lead on Ascension Catholic as that pass got batted in the air. It looked like a volleyball match for a minute. It ended up on the ground incomplete. That could have been anybody's football right there. Could have gone offense, defense, but certainly as long as that ball hung in the air, if you're Union Parish, you've got to get your hands on that one.
Yeah, well, Jackson hung his receiver out to dry. He got lit up, talking about the receiver. The ball's off the hands of number 2, Kanye Zenon, and it's up in the air like a volleyball, and it was anybody's ball in a white jersey. They had 4 guys going to get the ball, and they couldn't come up with it.
Pass in the flat, caught. Zenon on the catch will get about, they're only going to give him 1. Let's see if the near sideline linesman has the ball at the 33, but they're going to put it back at the 32. So just a gain of 1, and it's 3rd and 9.
St. James does not need to abandon the running game.
And we have reached the end of the third quarter. 12 minutes to play here in Vacherie. Will Union Parish knock off St. James again and get to the Dome again? Or will we have a Wildcat rally in the fourth quarter? Your score, Union Parish 36, St. James 22. You're watching high school football from Crescent City Sports.
You got purple, you gotta go. You don't belong here. I can't get on your shoulder. Walk on the press box. We can walk Landon, we can walk around the press box. You turn the heat on? Them boys going to see.
All right, so we get set to start the fourth quarter of play. St. James now moving left to right, operating on a 3rd and 9. Pass downfield is caught. Big play for the Wildcats to start the fourth quarter. Villanueva on the catch down to the 25-yard line of Union Parish. It's a gain of 43, and exactly what St. James needed right there.
Yeah, Jackson has all day back there. In order to throw the football, he just sits back there and drops a dime. When you're rushing 3, you should have all day, and he does. Look at the pass. Nicely done. Villanueva comes open in between the coverage, the safety, and the underneath coverage, and huge splash play for St. James.
Now they will actually move it back to the 27-yard line, so make the gain 41 yards on the play. First and 10 for the Wildcats, trailing by 14. Pass short and right is caught by the freshman, Kamon Mitchell. That'll get it to about the 23-yard line.
You know, freshmen making a lot of
no doubt
things happen here tonight, right? Freshman to a freshman out there. He's had a touchdown already tonight. Big kickoff return. The stage is not too big for these guys, as we've said.
No. And again, when you're in the river parishes, it's a big time atmosphere every Friday night. Now, obviously, the stakes are higher tonight. Play action, incomplete. That was that RPO look right there.
Yeah.
The pass in the direction of Mitchell falls incomplete, and it's 3rd down.
It was the right read, not a right throw, not a good throw. He's taught to read that outside linebacker. If the outside linebacker peeks in on the run, they're going to throw the slant behind that outside linebacker, and that's exactly what the outside linebacker did. It just was not on target.
Have our first final of the night. Ruston back to the Dome. They defeat Destrehan 44-7. Pass caught. Quarterback took a shot as he let it go, and he's hobbling around here as Trailer delivered the blow.
Yeah, but Trailer on the blitz delivered the blow. He comes off the edge and pops Jackson, right? But, hey, credit that freshman for standing in there, taking in the teeth, right?
Delivered the throw.
Delivered the throw. Big-time pass.
And the ball at the 14-yard line. Got to have a touchdown here if you're St. James. Pass in the flat, caught, got room to run, and Villanueva is in for the touchdown. Had the numbers out in the flat, and Mitchell delivers, or I should say Villanueva delivers on the pass from Jawan Jackson.
You're right. They had the numbers. That's the key words, Lenny. They have the 3/2 out here, and they dump it out onto the bubble. And look at the leverage, right? As he backs out, he is giving himself leverage on that outside linebacker, which in that case was Javian Henderson. The leverage allows him to be able to use the sideline and the rest of that edge of the field to get into the end zone. Nice execution. Also a nice throw by the freshman Jackson.
And the point after is good, and we are back to a one-score game at 36-29 with 10:45 to play. That drive 7 plays, 69 yards, took 2 minutes and 33 seconds. And just like that, St. James has an answer. Tonight's coverage on Crescent City Sports brought to you by Lamarck Crescent City Ford, the commercial vehicle center at 6121 Jefferson Highway in Harahan. Lamarck Crescent City Ford, we got a truck for that.
Okay, we're back into a ball game here,
Yes,
right?
indeed.
I mean, a one-score game. I mean, anything can happen. We've got 10:45 in a semifinal game.
Another final. Central defeats Neville 17-13. They go to Monroe and pull the upset, so it is Central and Ruston for the Division I non-select title next Saturday.
So far, that's the upset of the evening.
Yeah.
My goodness. Wow.
Carr and Catholic now into the fourth quarter, 21-12. Carr with the lead. And here's the thing to think, that's a 9-point game. There haven't been any close games in the fourth quarter just about the entire year. The closest anybody played them was Jesuit was 21-9.
Well, Carr hangs that carrot out in front of you, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, my.
And a late flag on the tackle at the end of that play as Meeking on the return got flung out of bounds and was...
Yeah, it's going to be dead ball against St. James.
Yeah, unnecessary roughness, and this will put the ball out near the 50-yard line. Let's see where they spotted it to begin with. They will put it right at the 50-yard line.
Well, the fans don't seem to be happy about it.
I mean, look, and one thing we've seen tonight, we haven't seen a lot of flags thrown.
No. They've been very efficient.
Yeah, we have not seen a lot of flags thrown this evening.
Correct, very efficient. And I think that's our first personal foul we've seen, too, if I'm not mistaken.
So Union Parish operates from midfield. Fullback dive that time will get a couple. That was due on the carry.
Yeah, that's how he's made the majority of his yards this season, on that hard dive on the option look, right? And, where he hits a crease and he's off to the races. St. James has done a nice job on him tonight, taking that away from the Union Parish offense.
Second down and just about 8. That's Trailer at the tailback position. He will fall forward to the 43.
Nice counter look by Union Parish that time. Blocking everything back, pulling the backside guard and tackle, and getting a kick out and a seal, and allowing Trailer and his big body to get up inside and set up this nice, manageable third down.
Third and 3. And easily a first down as they churn it down to the 34-yard line once again with Trailer. Gain of 9 on the play.
Offensive line doing its job. These guys are brutal up front. I think I said this already. I am highly impressed with this Union Parish offensive line.
Yeah.
These guys get movement at the point of attack. They can pull, and they can then run different types of schemes. And I tell you what, they're big dudes.
They came in averaging 228 yards a game on the ground. 249 thus far tonight. Make it 250 after 1-yard gain by Dew on first down.
Yeah, big number 76 right there, DeMarco Knight. Look, he's like 2 offensive linemen together, and he's kind of nimble on his feet for a big guy. Moves well, pulls. They're not afraid to pull him and put him up into the hole.
Renee Nato would tell you, as big as he is, his birthday is August 3rd, 4th, and 5th.
There you go. I might
There's
use
Wilson.
that. I might use that. That's a good one. Yeah, Wilson again ramming it up back inside, and here they are sitting again in a nice manageable third down.
Yep, 3rd down and 4 as the clock ticks under 8 minutes.
And again, this is what they've done all year long. Just eat clock and run it downhill.
They have topped the 40 mark in every playoff game this year. They're driving, trying to get over 40 again. That is close. Let's see, are they going to move the sticks or are they going to measure? As that was Trailer on the carry. They're going to say first down. Trailer has done a nice job in relief tonight at running back. 6 carries for 47 yards. 21 carries for 181 for Tyquirius Wilson. 259 yards now for Union Parish on the ground, as once again they go to the fullback dive on first down. They've now done that 3 sets of downs in a row here.
Yeah, and he picks up 3.5, 4 yards, and it's just like, bread and butter, right? I mean, it's just here's 3.5, 4 yards, and now we'll run Wilson or Trailer, and they'll pick up another 4 yards, and they're back into that those magic words, manageable third down.
Yeah, you gotta respect that though. You've got to respect the fullback dive. One of these times it's going to pop. Here's the quick pass in the flat, and it's well defended out there by St. James. Did the ball come out at the end? No signal. Let's see. St. James is running away with the football here. I don't know if they've blown this dead or is this live? I've seen no signal anywhere.
Well, the officials are walking back here like the whistle was blown.
And I just saw a touchdown signal here from one official. Let's see. We're going to have to take another look at exactly what happened here. They're huddling at the goal line. One official is saying touchdown.
One official says he doesn't know. And
now it's a touchdown.
Oh, my goodness.
Wow. What a turn of events. We'll get another look at it in a moment, but St. James suddenly on the scoop and score is an extra point away from tying this game. All right, let's see what happens here.
They decide to pass it out to the flat.
Yeah, they've got nobody covered out here. They're basically saying we're going to stack the box, and now we're going to throw it out here in the flat to Meeking.
It looks like he was down.
Out.
I don't know
but
if
the ball is.
Right. Yeah,
but here's the other thing: even if that was down, was the recoverer down, or would no one pick up the ball?
Wow.
We'll take one more look at it after. We want to make sure this is obviously a key extra point that would tie the football game. King Young, I think it got partially blocked at the line. No good. And how ironic is this, Wade? Look at the scoreboard. It is 36-35, which is exactly the final score we had in the Dome a year ago. A terrific block. They didn't get to see a number, but they got tremendous penetration to block the kick.
Well, the penetration again was by leaping. That was called back in the first half, if you remember correctly, right? You can't leap over the center. You can't leap over the guard.
All right, here's another look now at the – you see Meeking.
He's down there.
Where's the ball at this point, though? That's the question. The ball is out. But where is the football? And there's a scramble for it. Does anybody have it? The ball is. There's still a scramble for the football. Nobody was ever ruled down.
And it looked like it came out the backside.
Yeah, and now it's picked up by Xavier Anderson, the big sophomore defensive lineman, who returns it to the house.
All right. I mean, in my modest opinion, it looked like he was down. Then the ball came out. And even if the ball came out and it was batted around, the person that recovered it was down first before the ball squirted back out again. Play should have been stopped at that particular point.
Right.
That's my modest opinion.
There was a lot going on there, and obviously we've seen officials are now, you're taught to don't blow it dead. We can always go back and change it, but they let it go and then they let it stand.
And then on the PAT again, you had a defender hurdling a lineman, which should have been called. It was called in the first half for the block.
And whistles before this kick. I think they may call St. James for offsides on the kick. Let's see. Yes, we'll do it again from the 35.
And here we are, ironically.
The same,
the same score.
Right. Now, keep in mind, it was 35-28 St. James a year ago, and Union Parish got the touchdown in the 2 with 11 seconds left. There's still a long way to go in this one, but the fact that we get to the same score in this late stage is interesting to say the least.
Well,
we got some other games going final here. Let's catch you up on those while they re-tee it. E.D. White is on to the Dome. They defeat Leesville 41-13. Fourth quarter, Shaw leads Madison Prep 35-28. Sterlington is awaiting the winner of this one. It is final 48-14. Sterlington defeats Jena. Also a final. Congratulations to South Plaquemines. They are on to the Dome as well as they defeat Logansport 20-14. Vermilion Catholic has won. They defeat Kentwood 33-0, and Ouachita Christian over Ascension Catholic 24-22. So it'll be OCS and Vermilion Catholic in the Division IV Select Finals, which I believe that's the first game on Friday or Thursday. There's your second kickoff that is brought back. That was on the return that time. Derek Dew, the fullback, and he brings it out to about the 40-yard line, and that is where Union Parish will begin this drive as we are just under the 6-minute mark. 36-35 Union Parish.
Yogi Berra would have had a great line for this.
Well,
it's deja vu all over again.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Just different how we got here.
Exactly.
But it's all about the conversion. That was the thing.
That is true.
It was a 7-point game in both instances. On first down, give it away up the gut, and that's about 9 yards. And
this is what they do best.
You need to just keep doing what you do best until it's stopped, right?
No doubt about it.
Trailer on the carry.
They're going to milk every second they can off of that 40-second clock.
As they should.
Yeah, absolutely.
You see it down at the bottom right-hand corner of your screen. Got it down to 10. First down. And the pile's still moving. Finally, did the ball come out at the end? I think it did. They didn't blow it dead. The ball came out at the end, and it was recovered by
Harry Slocum.
Yeah, Slocum, the tight end, the big guy, picks it up, and now they're going to put it back at the 45-yard line.
I think if I was Joe Spatafora, I'd bring my guys over on a timeout, and I inform them you got to hold on to the football, right?
And they're in there trying to strip it out. I mean, that's what they've got to do.
Yeah, you got to lock that thing up high and tight. There's 4 points of contact. It's got to be in those 4 points of contact with your body high and tight.
Back on the ground. And here's the thing, they are feeding Trailer right now. It's almost like he's their fourth quarter guy.
Might be the
and now we will see a return with
Right.
Wilson here on 2nd and 8.
This might be the longest second down that I've seen them have all night. 2nd and 8, right?
Yeah. Well, they had one a moment ago, and actually it was a 2nd and 8 play when they threw the pass.
That's correct.
So, but you're right.
It's just they don't live in this.
But they're not operating. Have they operated all night from behind the chains? I'm not sure that they have. They'll run the toss sweep this time, and it's blown up. And that may be the first negative play we've seen the entire night. And tremendous pursuit into the backfield that time. That was Xavier Alexander. Again, he's the one who returned the fumble for a touchdown. And look at him just go through there.
Yeah, untouched.
And blow that play up.
Yeah, untouched.
Got a lot of help there. Some penetration that time by Jai Blaine, whose name we've called a couple of times tonight.
Well, this is foreign territory for Union Parish.
Third and 10. You see the clock. Inside 3.5 to play. And timeout, Union Parish.
Yeah, but Union Parish has put themselves in this position by putting the ball on the ground a couple times.
Right. I mean, it was going to be. Here's the thing. It was going to be. You would have had the ball a little bit deeper. That first down, the play that got the first down was the previous fumble. Now we've seen just two plays that St. James has stacked up and stopped the run here. A gain of 2, a loss of 2 that has turned it into a 3rd and 10 situation. Biggest play of the game at this point with 3:17 to go. Again, the winner heads to the Dome next Thursday night. They are awaiting the 6th-seed Sterlington, who defeated Jenna 48-14 in the other Division III non-select semifinal.
Well, the Dome's shaping up to be pretty darn exciting, I think.
By the way, Catholic has now closed to within 21-19 of Carr, fourth quarter in that one. And I don't believe at this point anything else has gone final. No, not that I can see. Calvary Baptist has rallied, by the way, to take a 31-24 lead over Catholic of New Iberia. That is now in the fourth quarter. Third down. Play action. Pass is nearly intercepted. That went in and out of the hands of 2 St. James defenders. Lloyd had his hands on it first. Or check that, I'm sorry. Blaine had his hands on it first, and then Gary White had a hand on it and could not come away with it.
Yeah, White and Blaine both had an opportunity to pick the ball. Markel Hall was the intended receiver on the
right
deep
there,
out.
And then there, and look, there is not a white shirt in front of either one of those guys. They would have been down the sideline. So here we go with 3:11 to play. Perhaps now this is going to be our first punt of the night. And they get it away. It's going to check up at about the 13-yard line. They'll roll down to the 12-yard line, and that's where St. James will start this series with right at 3 minutes to play. 3:03 to be exact.
Yeah, first punt of the night. St. James didn't have 11 players on the field. They only had 9. I guess if you didn't use the punt return all night, you don't know if you're on the punt return team or not, right?
All right, so St. James 87 yards away. Now, again, they can win it with a field goal, but obviously this has got to be all about a touchdown right here. But you've got plenty of time. With 3 timeouts, you got plenty of time to use everything in your playbook right here. They'll throw a little pass out in the flat. Trying to get to the edge. Got there, 30, 35, 40 and out of bounds at the 42-yard line goes Connie King-Young, a gain of 29 on the first play of the series.
I'll go all the way back to the first quarter. They've been doing that all night. That's the read that the young freshman's got to make, right? He's got 3 over 2 out here. No adjustment by the Union Parish secondary, and then the safety who was supposed to be coming down in the box, he completely misses on the tackle.
At the 42.
Same look again, 3 over 2. Are they adjusting? Yes, they are. Now they're walking down a safety. You have to do that. Or get somebody out of the box to cover the third receiver.
Bad snap. I'm not sure what happened there, but the snap just popped up in the air, and on the spot, that was, I believe that was King Young that picked it up. Yeah, it's going to go for a loss of 4, 2nd down and 14. Exactly what happened here. Did it hit a...
I think the center snapped the ball too soon is what happened, and it kind of ricocheted maybe off of his leg because the rest of the offensive line was kind of caught unaware.
So now it's 2nd down and 14. Wildcats behind the chains. Pass incomplete. He had a man wide open running down the middle of the field, but could not get it to White.
Wow. Wide open. Splitting the safeties in the post. Ball fell about 10 yards short.
No, check that. I said 3 White. That is 2 Xenon out there. The White does also play wide receiver. 3rd down and 14.
And we had a timeout. Yep. Looks like St. James timeout.
Yeah, you want to talk about this right here and make sure you've got the right play called in this key situation on 3rd and 14. You see it, 1:50 to play, 36-35. Union Parish with the lead. And what is, we thought going in, this had a chance to be perhaps the best game of the night, and it certainly lived up to the billing thus far.
Yeah, and then they're waiting, or they will, Sterlington is waiting on the winner of this game. And like you said, Sterlington is no stranger to coming to New Orleans.
7 of the 16 games have gone final at this point. We could tell you Central, Ruston, E.D. White, Sterlington, South Platte, Vermilion Catholic, and Ouachita Christian have all punched their tickets to the Dome. We will know the rest shortly. We'll know this one in 1 minute and 50 seconds. On 3rd and 14, pass, caught, out near midfield and out of bounds. It's going to be short of the first down, but this is a lot more manageable here, as that was Mitchell on the catch. Gain of 12, and it's going to be 4th down and 2.
For St. James, this is the play of the evening right here.
It's it, the play of your season. You got to convert here, or in all likelihood, it will be Union Parish headed to the Dome once again. We'll pass in the flat. 1st down and more. King Young still running. 30, 25, 20. Stiff arm, and then out of bounds at the 15-yard line. He has been the go-to man every time they've needed it. Check it. They're going to mark him out. Well, let's see. Where are they putting it down? Right at the 15-yard line. Okay.
Great blocking out on the perimeter by the receivers of St. James. They have thrown this little route all night, have had success with it. They go to it one more time. He finds running room, and he takes it all the way down to the 11-yard line.
Now over 300 yards passing tonight for Jawan Jackson. 112 of that has gone to King Young.
Timeout, Union Parish. They're left with 1. Now, St. James here doesn't want to score too fast. I mean, obviously that's their idea to score, but you've got to look at the clock, 1:34. They score right off the bat. That gives a lot of time left for Union Parish to, get their opportunity, right? So they're going to have to be tactful with the way they attack here inside the red zone.
See the timeouts. Union Parish has 1 remaining. St. James with 2. So St. James back in the red zone here at the 15-yard line. You see 3 wide receivers to the top. On the run, King Young makes one man miss, stays on his feet. It's a first down inside the 5, putting down at the 4-yard line.
And the clock continues to run. He didn't get out of bounds.
Oh, you got 2 timeouts. That's not a problem.
Right, not a problem at all. So they can be patient here. They need to be very patient in what they're doing and deliberate. They need to take that play clock all the way down.
One minute to play now. King Young on the carry. He is in for the touchdown. And St. James takes the lead. 53 seconds to play, and it's 41-36. And you would assume that Levanta Davis is going to go for 2. And he's out on the field signaling just that.
Yeah, he'll go for 2. Great job again by King Young, picking his way through to get himself into the end zone. Again, great vision, but also great balance. We have seen some great running backs play here tonight.
And now a timeout just to talk about this 2-point play. You want to make sure, obviously, you want to convert here to get up by 7. Although, as we saw a year ago in the Dome, having a 7-point lead is not a guarantee because
right.
Union Parish went for 2 in the win, but we are down to 53 seconds on the clock. Union Parish operated with a lot more time a year ago. And look, this is a Union Parish team that can throw the ball, but they tend to throw it off of their running game. If they're in a situation at a 2-minute drill, this is going to be a little bit out of their comfort zone to see how they're going to operate here in the final 53 seconds. But first, a 2-point try coming up.
Would have loved to have seen St. James take a couple more seconds off that play clock. I thought they snapped it a little bit too quick.
Final, Alexandria has defeated John Curtis 24-13, so the Trojans are headed to the Dome. I looked that up. When they got to the finals in 2020, that was in Natchitoches. The little pass in the flat for the 2-point conversion. Connie King Young has been the star of this drive. 2 catches for 64 yards, 2 runs for 15 yards, including the 4-yard touchdown, and now the 2-point conversion.
Again, just from a different formation and a little bit different route. They get him isolated man on one of the linebackers that can't cover him. They dump the ball out into the flat, and it's just easy pickings to walk into the end zone to get the 2 points. So with 53 seconds left,
you got to think about, obviously, this isn't going into the end zone here. Now,
right.
I would, remember the opening kickoff, St. James kicked it out of bounds. Do you want to just maybe even take the kickoff out of play and kick this thing out of bounds and let them start at 35? Of course, you got the option to back them up 5 yards and make them kick again if that's the case. But
now I would squib that ball hard right up down the center and make them have to bend over to pick it up.
Use some clock.
And try to use some clock with it and see if off of the bounding and the bouncing and all of the mayhem that goes on with a hard squib kick, something might just happen positive for you.
We have not updated you on the American Championship game in a while. Army is in command against Tulane, leading 28-7 midway through the fourth quarter in that one. There's your pooch. Make one of the short men field. That's a smart play. Just fall down. Don't try to do anything with it there. Don't waste a lot of time off the clock. 1 second goes off the clock, or I should say 3 seconds go off the clock. It'll be 50 seconds to play. And Union Parish needs a touchdown and an extra point to tie, a touchdown and 2 to win like they did a year ago. They got 69 yards to cover.
Well, here we go. They've got athletes that can score from any place on the field.
No question about it.
We have seen Tykerius Wilson take it the length, right?
And timeout St. James. That's a smart call right there because, again, this is probably not a situation that Union Parish has been in a lot this year, and you want to see what they're going to come out and line up in, and you don't want to get burned on the first play just sitting there with one timeout remaining. So you use it right now. You see what they're looking at, and they were showing a look with 4 wide to one side of the field.
Right, exactly. And the other thing is that might be something that they have not seen, the 4 wide, the quads. So let's call the timeout, and let's make sure we know where we're going and how we're lining up against it.
It is a final now from the West Bank. Carr survives 21-19 over Catholic. So it's Carr and Alexandria, the 1 and 2 seeds in the Division I Select Final next Saturday afternoon. Franklinton is leading Iowa 35-29 fourth quarter. In the other game in Division II non-select, Cecilia leading at Plaquemine 55-35. That is also in the fourth quarter. It's like 4 games are still going at this point, including this one. Here's a throwback, and it's well defended as they tried to go back here to, that was Jonte Lee, the tight end. Tried to run a little throwback screen, but well defended. That was Darryl Jasmine staying at home.
Yeah, that's kind of out of their wheelhouse.
Yeah, and they'll spike the ball after all of that. So 27 seconds left, and now it's going to be third down. And about 13.
Yeah, and they haven't been in this situation much this year, right?
Right.
So, a little bit of panic sometimes when you actually don't do this a lot, and you resort to running some plays that are outside of what you do normally. And the execution sometimes just won't be there.
Bobbled the snap. Rolling out, letting it fly down the field. Got a man out there, but it's intercepted. Intercepted, and that was Gary White, who will sew this up. He had an interception in a championship game a year ago. He makes the interception to send St. James back to the championship game here.
Now, receiver's open, it's just underthrown. Ball's underthrown. White makes a nice job going up at the high point, catching the ball and getting it, and it's going to send St. James to the Dome again.
St. James has played for a championship 11 times in their history. They have not been to back-to-back championship games since 1959 and 1960, when they won both of those years. They won in 66, they won in 79, they won in 2019. They've been a runner-up 6 times. Of course, our friend, the late Rick Gailey, got there 3 times, including as good a game as I ever saw in 40-plus years of the Prep Classic against Evangel. And, just went 0-3 with those chances. Of course, St. James was there a year ago and fell just short against this Union Parish team. And tonight, they will flip the script with 21 points in the fourth quarter. Remember, it was 36-22.
And to add insult to injury off the interception, there was a dead ball personal foul on Union Parish, so they're going to tack on another 15 yards to it as they kneel on the ball. Talking about St. James.
And that will do it. You'll see the clock run out. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The St. James Wildcats are headed back to the Dome for a second consecutive year. Your final score as the fireworks go off here in Vacherie: St. James 43, Union Parish 36. Wade, your final thoughts on a game that we thought could be great, and it was everything we thought it could be.
Absolutely. You saw some great defensive plays. You saw a lot of outstanding offensive plays. You saw a couple of great running backs here tonight, which were just phenomenal. Two really good football teams battling it out in one of the greatest weeks of the season, the semifinal date. And it's going to be fun to watch St. James next week against Sterlington.
Okay, it is. Let's run them down for you. It will be Central against Ruston. It will be Carr against Alexandria. Franklinton against Cecilia. Shaw against E.D. White. St. James against Sterlington. Dunham against Catholic of New Iberia, who comes back to upset Calvary Baptist. Haynesville on their way. They're still in the fourth quarter. They are up 38-6. They will hold on certainly and play South Plaquemines, and it will be Vermilion Catholic against Ouachita Christian. We are down to 16, 8 championship games next Thursday, Friday, and Saturday in the Dome, and it's going to be a lot of fun.
3 great days of football, and if you're a high school football fan, go get your tickets and make sure you plan to stay each one of those 3 days, because you're going to see some of the best high school football around the United States in the Superdome next week.
The fireworks continue to go here as they will celebrate in the River Parishes tonight. Your final score, St. James 43 and Union Parish 36. Thanks for joining us tonight and all season for our coverage of high school football. Tomorrow we have wrestling action for you from Metairie with the finals of the Trigg Sauer Memorial. And next week, join us on Crescent City Sports for audio broadcast of all 8 state championships. Be sure to visit CrescentCitySports.com and our social media platforms for the latest info. So for Wade Kaiser and our entire Crescent City Sports production team, I'm Lenny Van Gilder saying so long from Vacherie. Once again, your final score, St. James 43, Union Parish 36. Until next week, so long, everybody.